Hello, everyone. I am Cartoon Kitsune, and welcome back to Shattered Reflections. And as always, I have with me here my lovely players. If you'd like to introduce yourselves from top to bottom.
Hello, everyone. My name is Avi, and once again, I'll be playing your local real kind detective boy, Azumi, and his wonderful, wonderful doggy companion.
Koro, best boy.
Can't you can't forget the dog. It's blasphemy.
He's the most important part of this party.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the only one with these sort of oh god, what's the word for it? Like social skills, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say the most emotionally stable member of the party.
Yes, that too. Hi, I'm Candlestic, and today I'm still playing Dr. Crystal Everlight. She's fine. Ignore the ignore the wisdom roll from the end of last game.
She's fine. Nothing to worry about.
It's cool.
It's fine. It's cool. It's chill.
And I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the professor.
All right. So, to recap our previous session, when last we left our party, they ventured into a big giant hedge maze because they were seeking out one of A's alters, Colette, who was supposedly being held somewhere on the other side of it. They did a very, very good job of stealthing through there, avoiding fights, bamboozling a certain very stupid pumpkin guard.
Still surprised that worked so well.
It was hilarious.
It was. And eventually, they got through the maze, arriving at a very cutesy looking little mansion, which was completely wrapped up in vines. But once they got through that, they were able to quickly find Colette, who was hiding in a toy box, and subsequently threw one of the toys directly at Prof's head, thinking that he was an intruder.
Yep.
But yeah, fortunately, that all worked out. During the search, also when Crystal and A were searching one of the floors, A came across this book entitled A Boy's Midnight Journey, which seemed important to her, so she decided to take that along with her.
Yeah, I believe that's in Crystal's hammer space right now, and I don't think she's told the rest of the party she has it.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure it'll come up at some point. Anyways, there was a bit of a situation when A asked Colette for one of the pieces of her mother's letter that she's been tasked to find. There's a bit of a heart-to-heart with that. There's definitely some mommy issues going on, and Colette kind of resented her mother. Crystal was able to kind of give a few words of comfort to her, so that all worked itself out. And you guys were also able to find a mirror that connected to the Hall of Mirrors that you guys have been using as kind of a hub for this place. But before you could follow Colette into that mirror, you heard a sound out from behind the mansion, and you followed it to find a person by the name of Angelique, who looks like almost identical to A, save for a different color scheme, and appeared to be holding the last piece of something called this sort of regalia, which supposedly has ties to A's name and being able to remember it. And more importantly, though, she seemed to be pretty badly injured. There was a large crack running up and down her body. Unfortunately, she ran away before anybody could heal her up. But you guys have decided to head into one of the other areas, specifically the area where the altar known as Lyra lives, in the hopes that you can cut Angelique off as she's going through there and find her.
Mm-hmm.
So, where we last left you guys off, you had entered this area, and you're in the sort of sitting room. There's like a nice little fireplace. There's couches and a coffee table. A whole lot of books kind of scattered all over the place. Kind of some are on bookshelves. A lot of them are like these big messy piles. And there is a door out of here. These big double doors. I think A would probably offer to go and open the door for you guys, so you guys can head into this area. But I want you guys to roll perception on the door.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Um,
All right, that is an 8 from the professor.
Yeah, I don't know why I entered that twice, but there it is.
Yeah, no worries. All right, we got a 22 from Crystal and a 19 from Azumi. So, Prof, you don't notice anything, but Azumi and Crystal, you guys notice that there seems to be the ground next to the door, like beneath the door, it's very damp, like a whole bunch of water leaked onto there. And
oh.
yeah. Yeah, I see Crystal with that roll, like you can definitely put together that like the water probably leaked in from like underneath the door. So
Yeah,
yeah.
um,
You want to
she is.
stop Professor from opening it?
Oh, 100%. I am not 100% sure. Oh god, is she going to use a spell to try and stop him, or is it just going to be words?
I'm actually saying A is
give-
the one who, well, we can say probably A and Prof probably went to go and get the doors in because Prof rolled so low.
yeah, okay. I think yeah, if it's two of them then that's a little harder. So I think she's just going to sort of like yell out, "Wait, stop," like kind of thing,
Mhm.
and also maybe prepare a spell in case one of them still looks like they're going towards the door.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say A's already like got her hand on the handle, so Prof's gonna have to react kind of quick if he's gonna stop her because he's closest to her. I'm gonna say maybe roll Dex to like see if you can like stop her before she pushes down on the handle.
Yeah, because he is going to heed Crystal's word.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see how this dex goes. That is a 12.
Ooh, I'm gonna say just barely. Like like you almost like managed to stop her hand, but like just at like you're just about to like stop her, but she pushes down on the handle, and she kind of turns to you and is like, so, huh, what was that? But you only have a split second to react as the door clicks open, and before you can shut it, both the doors go flying open, and I'm gonna need you guys to roll a strength check and a con save because you are hit with a flood of water that comes gushing into the room.
All right.
Cool.
Yep. Okay, so let me check all of these. Okay. Okay, so
Hello,
Professor.
audience member.
Alright, so Professor, you passed.
Hi.
E. Okay, so I'm gonna say Professor Nazumi are okay. Crystal, we'll get back to you. Let me let me roll for A.
Oh no, the NPC stats.
Yep. Well, that's not good. Okay, well the good news is she did well on con. Bad news is she didn't do well on strength. Crystal didn't do well on either of that. So, Professor Mizumi, you guys are able to react quickly enough that you don't get like completely knocked over by the water. You're able to stand your ground, and you're able to hold your breaths in time. Let's see, Crystal and A, you both get like knocked over onto the water. Get knocked over by the water. A is able to react quickly enough to like hold her breath, but Crystal, unfortunately, I think you probably get like some like a bit of water up your nose, and you're kind of like coughing and sputtering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so the water is filling the room pretty quickly. Fortunately, it's not completely full because like the doorway can only allow for so much to leak in. So I'm gonna say that like after that initial burst, you guys are able to like let's say Azumi and Prof, you guys are able to swim to the surface of the room easily enough. You might want to grab the other two because they kind of got knocked over.
There is one wrinkle here.
I was also going to say,
Professor
yeah,
can't swim.
Oh dear.
Oh,
He
dear.
thinks he can swim, but he lost that when he regenerated.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That's not good. I was going to say Koro doesn't have to roll. Koro is protected by virtue of being a good boy, so nothing. He will be fine.
Doggy paddle.
Yeah.
Doggy paddle.
Koro
Alright.
is completely fine.
Alright. Is Prof like still in the water, unable to swim, or like
I don't know. If this is filling the room, yeah, no, he sinks. That was
alright, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to calculate swim speed, but Azumi's going for him.
I'm just gonna say for the sake of simplicity, it's your normal like base speed, so like just like normal 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So he's basically just chasing after him and then just gonna drag him to the surface.
Hey, Kit, can I maybe potentially like counteract something? You're welcome to say no, but because I said that Crystal had been readying a spell before the
Of course,
water
yeah.
hit,
Yeah. So let me see.
can I say that would have gone into effect even if it didn't stop the outcome?
Absolutely. Yeah, because you held your action. So what spell are you trying to cast?
Levitate on A.
Ooh, good call. I'm gonna say yeah, that goes off just fine.
Because she's not going to be able to cast anything else once she's under the water because they all have vocal components.
Yeah.
But that'll be a con save, I believe. Let me just double check.
Well, I think A can auto fail if she if it's willing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
can be willing to auto fail. Yeah.
Yeah, she will definitely allow this to happen then.
All right. Yeah. Then she gets levitated up 20 feet. Would have been.
So she's able to breach the surface.
Nice.
Let's see. So Azumi, you said, are you gonna go down and grab Prof?
Yeah. Can I also see Crystal?
Yeah. I'm gonna say if let's see. I'm gonna say if you grab him, Prof can roll athletics. Normally, it would have been disadvantaged without help. So you can roll athletics to see if you can get to the surface. And same for Crystal. I'm gonna say
Athletics.
yeah.
All right. Prof is probably gonna be all right.
All right.
For athletics. If I can just find the right channel. There we go. His modifier is yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Okay, 19. Yeah, you're able to breach the surface just fine. I'm gonna say, Crystal, that's barely enough to. You're struggling a little bit and kind of thrashing around, but you're able to like breach the surface.
Yeah. Cool. Like a choking, spluttering one because she just got water up her nose because she was
poor dear.
more interested in getting A away from the door than
Fair
hers.
enough. Right. Yes.
Up here?
So what was that?
Is there anything to grab onto up here? Like, I don't know, a sconce or a lighting fixture?
Yeah, I think there might be like a light fixture. There's also like the bookcases they're probably close by to you guys, so you can just like grab onto the bookcase to tread water a bit more easily.
Oh yeah, Prof is definitely doing that.
Yeah, I will say the good news is, you guys breach the surface. The room is filling up with water, but like the ceiling's high enough that you've at least got a couple of minutes to figure out what to do. So you have like a little bit of time to like quickly catch your breath and like figure out what you want to do.
Zumi's just fucking soaked, man.
I don't know if Crystal's going to be much help in this situation because she's currently only got an 11 on athletics to keep her head above the water, is concentrating on the levitate spell to keep A above the water level, and also I mean, like, I don't think she can see much with, like, the water and her glasses and stuff, so
That's entirely fair. Yeah.
In that case, can Azumi just, like, grab onto her and, like, pull her towards, like, one of the fixtures?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you guys are able to find a fixture, and you all grab onto it, and to keep yourselves above water while you figure out a plan.
Alright, also question, is there enough space on top of the bookshelf to, like, for Koro to stand on, or is it just, like, a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf?
No, there's a little bit of space. It's not like touching the ceiling, so Cora could get up there.
Alright, Koro climbs up there and does the dog shake.
Oh, buddy.
Um,
Koro, we're wet enough as it is.
alright. Azumi's just kind of, like, holding on to everything, and he's just like, "Is everyone alright?"
Ah,
I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know that would happen.
it's okay. I didn't notice either.
it's more important things right now.
Right. If we can get outside this room, there's a stairwell leading up. If we can get to the stairs, then we should be able to get to higher ground, I think.
Hmm. Stairs. What did you say? Further in?
Yeah, you'd have to go out of the door, basically get out of this room, and then there's like kind of a foyer area, and A's saying that there's like a stairwell that would lead higher up.
Mm-hmm. A, can you swim?
She nods. I think I can swim well enough to get out of here at least.
Okay.
Good
Crystal?
news, I can swim, and the good news is it shouldn't be as hard to go against the current once we're out of the room because the water's coming in this way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll just have to get by with Misty Step, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He like seems he like looks at how he's like treading the water and like it's a little uncoordinated as much as it is working just as because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, he's that athletic, but like I don't I seem to have forgotten.
How to swim.
He just like rubs at his face with one hand, like apparently.
I think A's
Oh, the
probably.
look on Crystal's face is like, how do you forget how to swim? But also, this is not the time for this conversation. So
Azumi looks like he's about to make, like, a snarky remark, but then he just kind of stops himself.
I think A's the
Um,
only one who like doesn't have a comment or is not giving Prof a dirty look because I mean she's an amnesiac. She knows you can indeed forget a lot of things. So
Yeah. But yeah, if if the rest of you are all right, if it would help if I brought one of you with me, I can use Dimension Door. Otherwise, I'm just going to Misty Step over there. Which do you think? Would anyone like to come with me, or?
you could take A.
We could get a little further in. Hey, about how far in do you think the stairs are?
it's just outside the door. There's sort of a when you get out here, there's sort of a landing. If we swim straight up, I think we should be able to get to the stairs. It's pretty close by.
Okay. Can you point in the direction?
She nods. I think once you get out there, she'll be able to like direct you a bit more easily.
Yeah, no, if he's using Dimension Door though, he needs to know like from here,
Right. It's basically yeah. I think you've had to
where
describe
to
this. It's
jump.
basically like so like there's sort of a foyer, and then there'd
Ooh,
be
you cut
like
out.
oh hello.
Yes, you're back. You're back.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's basically like there's the door, there's a foyer, and like on either side of the door there would be like kind of a staircase leading up, and then there's like a bigger staircase, like leading to the next floor.
Yeah, if A is able to like describe that, give him like estimation of distance and an angle, then he will grab her hand and they will dimension door as close as to that as he can get with that approximation. So that's up to
Right.
you.
Yeah, I think he can manage that. Basically, like, pretty much the fastest way there would probably be to just, like, go straight up, like, pretty much, like, teleport through the ceiling.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure. Then yeah, so they're gone.
Right, so that's them taken care of. So I'm gonna say you guys are good. In the meantime, Azumi and Crystal, you guys are gonna have to roll athletic checks to get out of this room and like swim out of there. And real quick for the holding breath mechanics, in case that comes up, it's it's the number of minutes. It's like 1 plus your con mod, with a minimum of 30 seconds. So like, in case anyone has negative con mods.
All right.
Alright. So if you have a 0 con mod, then that's 1 minute then?
Yeah, it's like 1 minute.
Okay, but if you
Yeah.
have a negative, then it is 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds basically.
Alright, cool. Just clarifying.
Yeah.
Oh, and we did get a note. Typically your swim speed is half your normal movement speed, so you guys are probably at 15 feet. But
There we
you've
go.
got
Okay.
like time. We're not in initiative. It's just going to be
Exactly.
a little
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah. You guys will be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So you
Wait,
two roll
Crystal.
me athletics. Yeah.
Yeah, Azumi's gonna
Oh,
hold out
God.
his hand for Crystal.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea because Crystal's athletics is a -2, and she's being too stubborn to use Misty Step right now.
Aw.
Hmm.
At least you have it in case like worst case scenario. So
Yeah. You do also need line of sight for that, so you could only get so far.
that's true.
Yeah,
If you can at
yeah.
least like get to the doorway, like then you can use that. So
All right, you
Yeah.
said athletics, just straight athletics, or
yeah, straight athletics.
okay,
That's not great.
Oof. Yeah, no, Crystal is
15.
definitely struggling. Yeah, Zumbi, you're kind of you kind of having to drag her along. Yeah, I will say like it's definitely kind of down to the wire. Like you're barely able to make it like out the door and like push against the current. I'm gonna say like
Yeah.
once you get to the doorway, you can cast Misty Step if you want to like to reach the surface.
Yeah, it's got a vocal component. She can't do that underwater.
Ooh, okay. Mm.
All right.
That's why I was
Yeah.
saying she would have had to have used it first, and she's
Gotcha.
being stubborn right now.
Mm.
Yeah. And then in that case, hmm.
So at this point, I'm gonna say you guys were able to make it to the doorway at least. You're probably gonna have to roll another athletics. I'm thinking with like crystals, like with those rolls, it might be a disadvantage because like you guys are kind of struggling a bit.
Fair enough.
Am
Yeah.
I rolling disadvantage or
Uh,
just
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say both of you roll at a disadvantage.
okay?
Well,
Yeah.
apparently it's easier now that she's out the door.
Yeah. Now it'll be a little bit easier because you guys are kind of having to fight the current. Okay, that's better. That's good.
Wow.
The other one I
Yeah.
rolled was a nat 20.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
Man. But hey, an 18 is still pretty good, so that's a 16 total.
Mhm.
The other roll
Ah,
was an
Another
18.
15. All right, perfect. So yeah, that is just enough. You guys managed to. You're definitely. I'm gonna say there's definitely a bit of a struggle as you're like getting through the doorway because like there's the current you're fighting against. But once you're out, it's significantly easier, and you're able to just kind of like kick your way up to the surface.
Cool.
Nice. So yeah, so you guys make it up there, and you find the stairway up pretty easily. I think Prof and A are probably already there. The water's flowing down there's like a bunch of water flowing down the stairs, but fortunately it hasn't like covered them completely, so you guys will be able to walk up the stairs.
Mm.
Yeah. I think you guys are
Oh,
coming over.
Cora's gonna do the fucking shake
Uh,
again.
I expect A will hold out a hand to like try and help you guys like get up on the stairs.
Yeah, Professor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be helpful. I think once Crystal's sort of out, she's cleaning off her glasses because damn, that's hard to see.
Zumi's just wringing out his hair.
Yeah. I think A might be doing something similar with her braids, like, and definitely her skirt as well, because she has like the long skirt.
Mm.
Here, I can get the worst of that if you don't mind. I have prestidigitation. And he'll pass it over her braids at least.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's annoying to have wet hair that's that long.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, Professor. Is everyone else okay?
Just
Well,
fine.
we're all here and we're all breathing, so I guess. Crystal is now wringing out her long hair.
Professor is also going to like roll his eyes and then give both her and Azumi like a pat on the head and prestidigitate their hair.
Oh, shut up. I have prestidigitation.
Well, you seem to have forgotten.
Well, maybe it had something to do with the room suddenly flooding.
Yes, fair enough, fair enough.
A looks away very guiltily again.
Hey, it's alright. It's alright.
Mistakes happen, but perhaps we should agree now that we check doors before opening them, because I'm hesitant to think that will be the only one with water behind it, given the state of. And she just gestures at the stairs, which have water flowing them down them still.
Right.
Yeah, it must be coming from somewhere up above.
Was it like this before?
She shakes her head. No, not at all. It was just I mean, parts of the mansion were a little beat up, but there wasn't any water like this.
Odd. Well, I suppose we'll go figure it out. Up the stairs then? Alright. Professor's gonna head up.
All right. So yeah, you guys head up the stairs, and it takes you a decent bit. Fortunately, there's a railing here, which you guys definitely need with all the water flowing down to kind of steady your steps.
Yep.
Yeah. As you get further up, there are these huge windows along the side of the wall, and it's actually a very beautiful view of like the night sky. There's stars. There's like a big full moon out. Yeah.
Out of could I roll to see if Professor recognizes the starscape?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay. That would be. What would that be? I am not sure. His.
I was gonna say history.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, that's high. So. 27.
Very nice. Yeah, you can definitely tell. It's for the most part,
I
it
guess.
looks yeah. For the most part, it looks like the stars are in the right places. It's not like completely accurate though. You get the sense that like this is sort of like it's like if someone was trying to remember what the stars look like from memory, so it's not like completely accurate. Like there might be a couple of extra stars, or like some are shifted a little to the side.
Yeah. Okay, but it's consistent with Zatori's usual.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's definitely more
Nice.
similar to like the view from like somewhere on Story. So.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
All right. But yeah, so you guys eventually reach the end of the stairs. This is a very, very long stairway, so it takes you a little bit. But eventually you get up there, and you reach a hallway. There's still water kind of flowing down it. Fortunately, it's the way it's flowing. Like I'd say it's like up to your ankles, but like you can still wade through it easily enough. And so the hallway you're in, much like the floor below you, there are a lot of like very blue tones. It's kind of like a bit more dark and melancholy. It's quite literally night and day to the castle and like the little mansion you were previously in Colette's area. Parts of the wall, this is a very like again, it's kind of that sort of like fancy mansion kind of theming, but very opulent. But parts of it are like a bit more kind of run down, like some of the wallpaper's peeling away. Um, there's like a there's like little side tables with like bases and stuff on them, but they look a little bit worn down. Um, there are a couple of doors in this hallway. Um, if you try them, like most of them appear to be locked. However, I'd like to have you guys roll listening perception.
Oh, certainly.
Cool.
Okay. All right, we're gonna pause for a sec because Avi has to go. But I'm thinking that with those rolls, Azumi is the only one who overhears this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm. Okay, so Azumi, you hear voices behind one of the locked doors. It's a conversation. You hear one voice is that of an adult man, and the other is like a much younger voice. You say like maybe like an adolescent child at the oldest, and that one is feminine. And the conversation they're having, the younger female voice sounds like she's very excitedly showing someone a picture she drew, and the male voice responds with sort of a very dismissive tone, and he says something along the lines of like haven't I told you to not disturb me when I'm working, and you should be focusing more on your studies than drawing silly pictures like this.
Hmm. Hey,
Hmm?
does anyone else live here?
She kind of like winces a little bit, and she says, "Oh, did you hear something behind one of the doors?"
Yes.
I see. That's well, I think those are supposed to be memories. They're probably Lyra's. She told me that she held on to a lot of my memories, and I guess they sort of manifest here. Specifically the ones of well, her and my father. You probably overheard one of their conversations, and she kind of like winces and kind of glances away, and is like, a lot of them aren't very pleasant, so maybe don't listen to the doors too closely.
I see.
Mm.
Hmm. Damn, of all the characters to get that.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking kid.
Yep.
Mhm.
Hey man, the dice called it. It just worked out very well.
Mm.
Yeah. Actually,
Likes you.
actually, if you guys want, you can roll an insight on A if you want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Professor is the only person in this party who doesn't have daddy issues.
Yeah, really. Well, what about Koro, huh?
Who knows? He's probably fine.
Yeah.
Kuro's okay.
Yeah.
His dad is Azumi, it's fine.
Hey.
That's true. All right. So Professor, I'd say with that roll, you got a 10. You don't really pick up much other than like A seems kind of sad, sort of thinking about her dad. Crystal and Azumi, fiddling enough. You guys pick up. It's a little more complicated than that. Like there's definitely like kind of melancholy, but she's also like a bit conflicted. Almost like she's not quite sure how she's supposed to feel about her father. And considering her her amnesia, there's a good chance that she's been getting her memories back, and this is all sort of new information to her, like the relationship she had with her father, or more accurately, most likely the relationship Lyra had with her father, assuming that Lyra was the one fronting during these memories.
God, I'm pretty sure both Crystal and Azumi know what it's like to have a complicated feelings towards your parents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mhm.
Azumi's got a solid feeling for his parents. One of them is melancholy, and the other is absolutely despise. It's
Mm-hmm.
really his uncle that he's got conflicted feelings about. But anyway,
Valid. Crystal definitely has conflicted feelings about her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
We've all got daddy issues. Anyways. All right. So you guys continue on through the hallway. Fortunately, you don't hear any more conversations through the doorways, or at least none that are loud enough for you to pick up on. As you guys are going down, roll me an investigation.
All right. Oh wow. Okay.
Oh. Ooh, nice. There's a 29 from Crystal. It's a 25
That's a
from...
nat 20.
Oh, dang,
Whoa.
yeah. Very nice. Yeah, all you guys rolled above a 20. And just out of curiosity, let's see if A can get this. Oh, wow, 17. Dang. I think the whole party notices this. All right. So, as you guys are going down the hallway, you're kind of noticing the flow of water beneath your feet. And you're able to kind of follow after it, and you see that the water appears to be flowing out of this one set of double doors that's sort of in the middle of one of the hallways. And you can deduce that this seems to be where the water might be flowing out of, because if you look further down, the other end of the hallway, it's flowing outward, so it's not coming from that direction. And I think A will pipe up with that's strange. This was a library the last time I was here. Why would there be water coming out of here?
Don't know.
Hmm.
The doors are closed, I presume.
Yes, they are. You can see actually wait, no, the doors wouldn't be closed. I think one of them would be slightly ajar because with the way the water's flowing, it would be a lot
Okay.
harder to get through.
Yeah. Get that volume.
Yeah. They're heavy doors though, so that's probably why they're only partially open and not completely flowing open. The water from coming through here doesn't appear to be it's flowing out, but it's not a torrent when when it came through the door.
Mm-hmm.
A, where does Lyra like to spend her time mostly?
Usually it's on the upper floors, probably because these ones are a bit more run down. I hope she's not stuck in there if the water's coming in out. What do
Do
you
we
think if
have
she...
do we have any other way to go, or are these the only
Path.
No, there is a way forward, which presumably leads to the upper floors, but the water's coming out through here. So, I mean, A definitely thinks that you should probably check it out, especially because, if the water's coming out through here, maybe you can find the source of it.
Okay.
Well, we could figure out a way to get in there again.
Is it rapidly coming out, or?
No, it's kind of gently flowing out. Because again, at the bottom floor, the water came out so fast because there was a whole wall of it behind the door. So once it opened, it all came flooding in. This one, it's flowing out, but it's not as because there's nothing holding it back, so it's not gushing out. So
Okay, so
you would
I'd
be
be
able to enter the library
opening.
without any difficulty, basically.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get a
Alright,
vibe
yeah.
for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's all what we were trying to get the vibe for, is if we open this door more, are we going to have to contend with more water?
Yeah, and it might a little bit more might flow out because like the gap isn't as like big, so they're not like, completely wide open. But it's not going to knock you guys over, basically.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they can wade in over there.
Yeah.
Well, if only one of us had thaumaturgy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say at worst, when you guys open the door, like a bit more of it kind of gushes out, and like it kind of splashes like maybe up your legs. So you're, I mean, you're already soaking wet, but now you're even more wet.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah. So you guys enter the library, and this place, it is massive. Like there are multiple floors to this library, and it is wall to wall books all over. There's bookshelves like in the middle areas of it. Like this is an impressive library. Out of curiosity, what's everyone's reactions to seeing like something like this?
It's a shame for the books.
Yeah.
Professor is very appreciative, just like looking up and like nodding in admiration, like, oh wow, this is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think Crystal's is a mix of all like books and like she likes the library. She's always loved libraries, and this is a lot of books, and she kind of wants to explore it with the mixed with the but the water is probably ruining the books with the it would be so much nicer if it wasn't wet, and if I
Definitely.
wasn't wet right now.
Alright. Now you guys are inside. It is time to roll perception. That's what we always do when we enter a new room.
Yep.
New area perception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You're
he
not
is
gonna
rolling
believe me.
surprisingly low.
Yeah.
I say surprisingly low, but like no matter what I do, it's gonna bring it above a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know if you want me to take a picture to prove that I did get
Wow.
that.
No, I believe you.
20. That's the 2 nat 20s in a row.
And that's a 16 from A. She's doing surprisingly well, too.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I suppose it makes sense because this is a library, but still.
Yeah. Alright. So you guys are looking around. You kind of would you say like so you don't find much of interest on like the bottom floor of the library, but there's a couple levels above you. So you guys would probably like go to higher ground, right, to search up there.
If we're following the library, if we're following the water, yeah, we're probably gonna be heading up.
Yes, I was just about to say
Follow
about the
the
water. Yeah, you can.
flow.
Yeah, there's definitely water. It's flowing from one of the higher areas. So yeah, you notice that. As you guys go up, when you're on the second landing, you see that there is a gramophone, very nice looking one, seated like kind of in the middle of the landing here next to the staircase. Uh, it's one of those ones that uses wax cylinders to play like different sounds, and this one in particular has 5 little cylinders nestled like right next to it.
Ow.
Yep. So that's there. Crystal, because you got a flippin' nat 20, you hear sounds coming from up from the 3rd floor up above you guys, and it's sort of a sniffling kind of sound, and like a little bit of whimpering.
I don't think she's gonna say anything, but she is going up there.
Mm-hmm.
Professor's gonna stop for a second and load one of the cylinders into the gramophone.
All right. The cylinders are marked 1 through 5. Out of curiosity, are you going to go in order, or are you just going to pick a random one?
We'll start with 1.
All right. Okay, so we'll get back to Crystal in a moment because we're playing the gramophone. So this gramophone, this wax cylinder, it seems to be a little bit damaged because as the recording plays, it kind of like skips and stutters, and like there's a bit of static in between the phrases. I'll read this out and then I'll copy and paste it. So you hear the voice of a woman, definitely like an adult woman, not anything like A or probably one of her alters because this one sounds a lot more mature. And it plays as such. I am recording this. Leave you my children. My testimony of what I have brought upon of our lives. A being whose hold of my beloved daughter's name. Everything mother could do for you. Hope is that your pocket mirror, my girl. All I can say. Deepest regrets are now a burden to you.
Mm. That sounds very. Oh, the first part of the letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, A's kind of like staring wide-eyed at the gramophone, and she says, "That, I, that, that was my mother."
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
Interesting.
yeah. Hmm. So I think after that, unless anyone wants to comment on that, we're going to cut back to Crystal.
Sure.
All right. So so we go back to Crystal. So while the other three are listening to the gramophone, Crystal, you go to the upper landing, and let me grab something real quick.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Crystal, you go up to the landing and you follow the noise, and indeed it belongs to a person, and you see this person. She is sitting on the floor. Um, she's kind of like curled up, covering her face, and she's quietly weeping to herself. She doesn't appear to have noticed you yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Crystal's not going to approach, but she is going to like sort of softly call out, excuse me, are you Lyra?
The young woman jolts, and her head kind of snaps up, and she looks all around her. She doesn't look directly at you. She's kind of glancing around, and she says, who is that? Who is there? And now that you're getting a look at her face, Crystal, I want you to roll. I'm gonna say investigation for this.
Alright. Oh no. Alright, well the nat 20s are coming back to bite.
Oh.
I apologize if there's any like whining engine noises.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is trying to fix my car and it is not behaving.
No worries. I don't think I'm picking it up on my mic, so I think you're good.
Oh, good.
Okay. So yeah, so Crystal, that is a 10. With that roll, all you really notice is that this woman's eyes seem a little bit different. Like, you're not sure what it is about it, but there's something just different about them. You can't really place your finger on like
Mm,
what it is.
yeah, okay. I mean I have some guesses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think yeah, Crystal's still not moving and she's just going to say, um I'm a friend of A.
I think once you speak again, she doesn't look directly at you, but she kind of like stares in like the general direction of like where your voice is coming from, and she says, you know A? I'm sorry, who are you? I don't recognize your voice.
Uh, my my name is Crystal. I'm a doctor. One of a few people that A brought here to help her help you with the the Pumpkin King that has shown up. May I approach?
Um, Hang on, I'm trying to think what she'd say to that. I think she kind of pauses for a moment, kind of taking all this in. Says, "Doctor, are Are you one of the ones from the hospital? I don't recognize your voice though. You're not Dr. I, are you?
No, I'm a specialist. I got brought in for A's peculiar case.
Hmm, I see. I'm surprised that you're here. I didn't think anyone outside of our little group could exist in this place. Um, I think she'll let me roll something because she's gonna attempt to stand up. Let me see. Uh, okay, yeah, she manages to stand herself back up. She stumbles a little bit, but she's able to catch herself on one of the bookshelves. And notably, you also notice that she's carrying a thin white cane in one hand as she stands up. She doesn't quite lean on it though. It looks a lot thinner than a normal cane, but with the roll you got earlier, you can't really get much more than that.
Oh man.
She should know this.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like,
Uh,
I mean, your character can come to like the conclusions like she would, like you won't know for certain, but like you can come to whatever conclusions you want to.
Yeah, okay. I guess the thing that's throwing her off is probably because this is an altar in someone's
Mhm.
mind, and
Mhm.
she's not 100% sure that physical disabilities could affect them.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting, isn't it?
Mhm.
But I think she does sort of pause, like ready to help when she starts stumbling, but she's sort of like still keeping her distance because, like,
Mhm.
yeah, she uh she did ask and didn't get a reply to that, so but
Mhm.
I think she will respond to the query from before of well, usually no, but one uh one of the others has I guess you could say a speciality for getting places he
Sure is a way to put that.
Sure is.
Mhm.
I see. Well, it's fortunate that a uh, did you say you were accompanying A?
Yes, I she's on the floor below us with the other two.
That is good to know. She is unharmed? Yes.
She is currently unharmed. Yes.
And she breathes a sigh of relief. Oh, thank goodness. With the situation that's been going on, I feared that something may have happened to her as well. Um,
And you? Are you okay?
I, yes, I am perfectly fine. I was able to get to high ground when the water started coming in. Um, roll an insight on her.
Haha. All right, cool.
Hmm.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna roll something against that. Let's see. Okay, that was a deception, which fortunately you beat out on. Yeah, this woman, who I will just say is Lyra. Yeah, she is most decidedly not fine, but she is very much like trying to keep her composure in front of you.
If I may be frank, you do not look fine, and I can understand why you might be trying to keep it together in front of A, but perhaps having someone here to help might put you in a better state before talking to her so you don't worry her too much.
I assure you that will not be necessary. I am quite fine now, especially now that I know that my girl is quite safe. You needn't worry about me.
I don't know if Crystal's gonna be convinced by that.
Yeah, she's kind of like just like smiling at you with this very placid smile. to sort of like sell that like she's perfectly fine, nothing's wrong. So.
Mm.
hmm well, at any rate, forgive me for forgetting my manners. I am indeed Lyra. Um, I think we should go and see her if that is quite all right. And she's gonna make for the stairs. Surprisingly, she doesn't have any trouble with them. Like she knows where the railing is. I think you get the sense that like she lives here. So if what your theory about her is true, she probably knows this area quite well. And indeed, as she's
Mm.
going down the staircase, she is like kind of tapping the stairs with her cane and moving a bit slowly and holding the rail, but she's able to get down easily enough.
Yeah, yeah, Crystal's not great at persuading people, and she's yeah. So I think the only thing that she kind of is handing me at the moment that she wants to do is to roll a medicine just to make sure there's nothing like physically wrong with her that she's hiding.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Damn. Okay.
Oh my god, 3 nat 20s.
I don't know what to say.
Save them for the rest of us, Crystal.
I'm sorry.
I will say, to be fair, I think Azumi got like, did he get like 2 or 3 net 20s in the last session?
It was Koro.
Koro,
It
that's
was
right.
That's
Koro.
right.
Alright. So yeah, no, from what you can tell, she doesn't appear to be injured, thankfully. I will say with that medicine roll, you can definitely tell for certain this person is she's definitely blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
able to
that's
like
what she thought.
yeah. So you're able to tell that. Also, you also notice with that roll, the area around her eyes are quite red and puffy. So you can definitely tell like she was crying before you got here. Let's see. I'm also gonna say roll perception. Now that
All right.
yeah.
Well, out of curiosity, with the
hmm
since it's a nat 20, do you reckon she'd be able to tell if it's like 100% loss of sight or just like mostly and has like a tiny amount of vision?
Good question. I'd say with that roll, sorry, I'm trying to think how to word this.
Mm.
You get the sense that like she probably has like a little bit of her vision, but like she would be considered legally blind. So especially
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, all right.
she has the cane, like it's enough that like she's like she needs the cane and she doesn't have like yeah you know what I mean. But
Oh yeah. She maybe gets like some dark and light, but maybe not a whole
exactly,
much else.
yeah.
I have another question that I'm wondering if she can get with that nat 20 is
hmm
can she tell if it was something she was born with or whether it's been inflicted?
Mm.
I'm going to say you're not able to tell that, and that's out of character. I'm not really sure how to because like the thing is like these are technically mental constructs existing in like a demiplane, so it's
Yeah.
not necessarily that somebody was born with something because like technically when Lyra would have manifested she would probably be at her current age or like whatever age she was like when she manifested, so to speak. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm getting from that is that it's not probably something that's happened to her like this is something that she's had for a while at least.
Yes, I can confirm that. This isn't like it's not something that was inflicted upon her. It's especially because like she has the cane and because like the way she carries herself, you can tell like this is something she's had for a long time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, she's used to having this disability. So, but yes, with that, you got a dirty 20 perception. You notice, you don't see the water flowing down the stairs anymore. The flow has stopped.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I have some theories about that, but
Mhm.
also Crystal's not the sort to sort of touch emotional stuff with a 10-foot pole, so
God,
Entirely fair of her.
Wow.
gotta get the professor up there.
well, she's coming downstairs now.
Yeah, no, Lyra's
All
heading
right.
down the stairs, yeah.
It's like she's not physically injured. She's not got anything that's like gonna physically worry A. There's no immediate danger. I'm gonna leave that emotional baggage that is obviously there to someone more qualified than me.
Entirely fair. So, yeah, you guys, as you guys are looking at the gramophone, maybe like about to load another cylinder into it or whatever, the rest of you see this this woman coming down the stairs, and when A hears her coming, she immediately she turns around, and her face lights up with a smile, and she goes over to this woman and just says, "Lyra, you're okay." And Lyra responds with, "My girl, it is you." And she holds her arms out, and A will give her a hug, somewhat carefully, mostly to like not accidentally knock her over or like catch her by surprise.
Mhm.
Oh, my girl, I'm so happy to see that you're here again. I was so worried.
I think Professor, seeing the cane at least, is just going to like clear his throat loudly. Hello there.
I think Lyra kind of like looks up and is like kind of looking in the direction of the voice again, not directly at Prof. He says, "Oh, there's another person here. How many did you bring with you?" There's three of us. Well, four if you count Koro. He's a dog. Let me introduce you though. I think A will let go of a hug and to say, everyone, this is Lyra. Lyra, this is Mr. Azumi, a professor, Dr. Crystal, and Koro. And Lyra gives you all a very polite, like little curtsy, and she says, "It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and you have my gratitude for looking after A."
No problem. And it's nice to meet you.
Mhm.
I'm sitting on the insight roll so hard.
I'm trying to think, like, because I'm not sure now is the best time for it because she hasn't really done anything that you guys have seen that would be insight roll worthy, I would say.
Hmm.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get your chance though. Trust me.
This is your library then.
Uh, yes, it is. Well, I would consider it our library in a sense. This place belongs to all of us. And she kind of like gives a little affectionate pat like on her head as she's saying this. I do
Mhm.
apologize for this. I do apologize for the state of this place, though it was rather outside of my control. And A says, I was wondering about that. What happened here? Uh, well, it's the strangest thing. I was I was in my I was in my room when all of a sudden I heard the sound of rushing water, and before I knew what was happening, the flood suddenly came along. I had to run away. I ran to get away from the water, and I ended up in here. I had hoped that the higher ground of the library would protect me from it. And now is the time to roll insight. And first, though, I'm going to roll her deception.
All right, here we go.
All right, 18 from Lyra, not too bad.
Hey, you want to talk about nat 20s?
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh
nice.
my goodness.
Oh boy! Damn,
Talk about nat 20s, huh?
that is a total of 30 for Azumi.
Hmm.
Okay, so actually, I was gonna say Crystal because you've already I'm gonna let you roll advantage on that just because like, you've already kind of like figured out that like something's going
Yeah,
on with her and she's
thanks.
hiding stuff.
Nah, that's not any better, unfortunately. She's not doing great with the insight. She's still suspicious as all get out because
Fair
she's got
enough.
pieces of information,
Right.
but she cannot tell whether Lyra's lying or not.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, or you can't pick out any like massive like incongruities like in her story. The other two,
Oh,
however. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prof, you just barely beat it, so you get a sense that like it feels like there's something off about this. Like she might be skipping over details, for whatever reason. You're not sure if it's like
Mhm.
intentional or not, but she's definitely leaving some stuff out. Azumi with that nat 20. Yeah.
You.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell she is very much leaving out parts of that story intentionally, and she is straight up lying about other parts. Particularly, there was kind of a bit of a stammer, like when she was talking about like how the flood came suddenly, and like how she's saying like she's not sure like where it came from. She's definitely lying about
Mhm.
that. And I think that Nat 20, you also get that like you get a sense that she's leaving out parts of it probably because she either doesn't want to worry everyone, or there's something happened and she doesn't want to admit that it happened. Either something she did or something she's trying to hide.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what Azumi is going to do is that he's going to glance between everybody else before he crosses his arms. um, and uh, he, I think what he ends up saying is, "Now, Miss Lyra, uh, I understand that this is a stressful situation, but I am under the impression that this demiplane of yours is under quite a bit of distress, namely an invasion from an outside source that may or may not want to cause everyone within it harm. Um, and I would very much appreciate it if you would be forthcoming with the entire story. And before you say anything else, do know that I am a detective and I am very good at detecting bullshit."
I think she's definitely a little bit taken aback by the swears at the end of that, but pretty much the whole thing too. Cause yeah, she definitely looked like she was about to retort before you cut her off, and she's kind of yeah, that placid smile of hers has been replaced like a bit of a scowl, and she's kind of gripping the handle of her cane a little bit more tightly. Is she saying, "Well, I would not put it that way in such vulgar language, but whatever I've left out, it is irrelevant to our current situation, I assure you." And
Were you
H.
crying before?
Oh yeah, no, you can go.
Oh, sorry.
No, no,
uh,
you go. Yeah.
were you crying before now?
She clams up, and
Crystal is going to be blunt, and Crystal is going to say, "Yes, and the water flow has stopped somewhat from since then."
Mhm. And
If that's not symbolic, I don't know what is.
Sorry, I lost the thread of what I was going to say right then. Okay.
Sorry.
uh, well, you see, with the information that you have left out and what you have given and what we're able to see with our, sorry, like, poor choice of words, and what we are able to tell from everything else, the only logical conclusion that we can make is that this area flooded from tears.
mm, yeah, I think Lyra, she kind of like takes a step back, and she's kind of like closing in herself a little bit, like she's kind of like got her arms wrapped around herself. Like
Yeah,
she looks like she's kind of like she wants to say something, but like she's like with everybody kind of like calling her out on this, she's kind of clammed up and is like not speaking now. But
no.
eight.
Oh,
I mean,
continue, continue.
sorry, yeah. A chimes in with, Lyra, if there's something wrong, you can tell us. You know that, right? I, please, it is not. I am fine. I assure you. And right on cue, you see she's starting to tear up again, but instead of like the normal tear tracks, you see there is like there is water pouring out of her eyes like two little waterfalls, and is flooding down is not like floating down onto the ground. And fortunately, it's not like so strong that like it's pushing anyone away. But this is definitely like kind of given up that your deduction was quite correct. And I think Lyra was kind of like putting a hand over her eyes, like she's trying to stop the flow of tears to absolutely no avail. And she's saying, "No, yeah, no, please, I can stop it. I'm fine. Please, I don't."
Why don't you take a deep breath and let yourself cry for a moment and let yourself not be all right, regardless of whatever we think.
Mm-hmm. And
You seem to be have this in for quite some time.
I think she will. It takes like a few shaky breaths for her to calm herself down and like allow herself to calm herself down because she's like so desperately wanting to like just kind of like cover up the tears, but it's not doing anything. So eventually, though, like they do start to dry up. There's still like a little bit of like water flowing out of her eyes, but for the most part, like it's started to calm down. I I am so sorry to make such a bad first impression of you all on you all. I assure you, I'm usually more composed than this, but as I said, the circumstances are rather out of my control at the moment.
Well, that's all right. I don't think any of us are uh, uh, bothered at all. I think you're fine. This is all right. We are here to help. You aren't really
But
inconveniencing us with this. This is part of it.
but
That
I've
said,
made such a
we
mess of things, and I should be better than this. I.
We don't know you, and you don't owe us that.
that said, we can only be as effective as much information that we have.
Mm-hmm. Lyra, you promised me that you wouldn't that we would work together, right? That you wouldn't take all these burdens on by yourself anymore. And A is gonna like reach out and take one of Lyra's hands. Uh, we can get through this together, okay? You don't have to handle everything by yourself anymore. And I think when she says this, like the tears kind of finally dry up a bit, and Lyra like she rubs at one of her eyes, but manages to dry them this time. I know. Thank you, my girl. Thank you, my girl. I am sorry about all of this. I suppose it is rather difficult to unlearn that, so to speak. But
That's all right.
Hmm. Certainly now I've been there.
um, can you tell us how this all started? I I mean you don't usually you're not able to flood a room with your tears. That is correct, my girl. This is I believe this all started must have been a couple of days ago. I was I was in my room and I heard this voice, one that I did not recognize, and it said to me, and she kind of clams up again, like you get the sense that whatever it said, whatever this voice said to her, she really doesn't want to like admit it. She might need a bit of coaxing before to get her to say whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you heard a voice. Can you tell us what they said?
I think she kind of like glances down at the hand that A is holding, and he says to her, "It's okay. Whatever it is, I'll be all right. And if you're worried about me thinking less of you or something silly like that, I promise you, it would take a lot to do that. All right. If all right. It said to me that you. It said to me that all my efforts to protect you will all be for naught. That you would be destined for ruin, and there was nothing I could do to stop it, or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact words, but when it said that, my heart fell, and I could not stop crying, and the tears, well, yeah, she kind of gestures to the area around them. Yeah, I suppose you've seen the result of that now.
Mm-hmm.
What did the voice sound like? It was. I did not recognize it as one of our own. I I believe it was rather. I can only describe it as mocking, almost playful in the way it spoke. I believe it may have been male as well, but I'm not entirely sure.
Hmm. Well, it might be that fellow we met, Prince of Courts.
Mm.
He seems to have a knack of getting into people's heads.
So he's the one who did this to you, then? I suppose that must be the case. It would make the most sense. It doesn't. As I said, I haven't ever been able to shed tears in this manner. So,
Hmm.
well, on the bright side, that means that this wasn't really your fault, right? I mean, he did all this to you.
Right, he prompted this reaction.
Mm.
He was trying to get a reaction out of you.
Mm.
Can I roll an arcana? Crystal wants to know if this is a spell.
Yeah, you can roll an arcana.
God, what is up with my dice today?
Loaded!
Is it another nat 20?
Yes!
Are we up to 3 or
I
4
don't.
now?
This is number 4, I think.
Whoa.
Wow.
I don't know what is happening.
Apparently Lalu really likes you today.
I suppose she's making up for this week, whereas just every time I had like something luck related, it went the wrong way.
Hey, remember during our FPS, like both of our FPSs would like yours like just kept going down.
Yeah.
This is the comeuppance for that.
Yeah.
This is gonna come back to bite us at some point, I just know it.
Probably.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, with that nat 20, yeah, you can definitely tell, like, there's some sort of spell, and, I'm gonna say out of character, like, there's not, like, a specific, like, D&D spell doing this. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, you can sense that it's probably, like, the area that you guys are in, like, because while she's in here, it's, like, because she's probably connected to this area in some way because it's hers, so... But you get the sense that, like, if you move her out of this area, then the tears probably will stop. Like, it won't be a problem anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Like that's at least useful for now.
Mm-hmm.
I think she might have been um I'm not quite sure how she was checking that, like, sort of thing, but she might have been, like, making some sort of signs that she was, like, sort of looking her over
Mm-hmm.
since the, like, sort of, like, the mention of the King of Gourds,
Prince of Gourds.
um, the Prince of Gourds, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, for magic, and so I think at this point she might speak up with the,
Mm-hmm.
"You do have a spell on you, but it looks like it's tied to this area. If we get you out of here, it should stop."
I see. Let me think. Where would we go then? Oh, we found this place. It's sort of like a hall of mirrors, but all the mirrors connect to other places in here. So if we can just find a mirror, then maybe we might be able to get you somewhere safe. Colette and the Lilibet are there too. I see. Then I suppose that should be our next step. Let's see. I do believe that there should be a few rooms with mirrors up on the third floor. If we go up there, we might be able to
Hmm.
find a way through. Um, and I think as she's saying this at this point, lets out a little sneeze and kind of shivers a bit. And Lyra says, "Oh dear, you poor thing. All of you must be soaking wet if you had to wade through that flood. There is a place up on the second floor where we could rest and dry off. I don't believe the water will be up there anymore. It should be high enough. Uh,
Hmm.
may I request that we go there first and then go to the third floor?"
That's all right with me. The rest of you?
Fine.
Mm, that sounds like a solid plan.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on, do you have a piece of a letter?
The let Oh, is that's and she'll reach into the pocket of her skirt and she will pull out another torn piece of paper. Miraculously, it is not soaked through. In fact, it's kind of strange
Hmm.
that it's completely dry. Uh, yes, I did find this piece of paper in my pocket. Is that what this is? Yes, it's the letter Mother left us. And when she hears that, it looks like she was about to hand it to A, but her hand kind of recedes a little bit and she takes it back. And she says, I see. Are you quite sure you should be holding on to this? I mean, this letter, it's caused quite a bit of trouble to say the very least.
Now, dear, I think A did remind you that you are not supposed to be taking on all the burdens anymore.
Mhm.
Right now, we are trying to put something together, and uh, A is the one running around with us to do that, and so it would probably be best if A held on to the letter, don't you think?
She kind of like does a little like slightly annoyed sigh.
Hmm.
But yes, she will relent. And I'm gonna say let's take a quick pause because we've been going for about an hour and a half now, and I need to find where I put this thing. So
Yeah.
so take a short break, get water. I will pull up the next part of the letter, and yeah,
Okay.
see you guys in a bit. And we are back. All right. So if you uncrumple the letter, you can read the next piece of it. It's right. So ever since that fateful day, my soul has become restless with regret. I have been driven by greed in all that I have done, blamed my own foolishness on the innocent. I have exchanged my humanity for a chance of happiness for both myself and my family. But for you, my dear daughter, I have left nothing but shame. And let me copy and paste this.
Mm.
All right. Hmm. I think after A is done reading this out, she says, "Hmm, Lyra, you said this letter might be dangerous? Why did you say that?" And Lyra responds with, well, I can't say for certain if this is the case, but I do believe that letter, at the very least, played a part in, well, the five of us being the way that we are now, so to speak.
Hmm.
Mm.
There were some wax cylinders down the way as well.
Oh, right, the gramophone. Maybe we should listen to those.
Yes, if uh hmm. Listen, you can stay, otherwise I can just go through them and take notes.
Hmm. Perhaps that may be for the best, if only because, well, in my current state, if anything makes me too emotional, again, I'm so very sorry for all of this.
Oh, it's quite all right. Yes, why don't you go on ahead, uh, help Crystal and Azumi dry off. I'll let you decide if you'd like to stay or go. And I'll get what info I can out of these.
Hmm. I think I'll stay behind. I kind of want to listen to this too. Well,
Hmm.
all right, just be very careful, my dear. And, Professor, you said your name was?
Yes,
Yes. Uh, please keep her safe.
I will.
I'll entrust that to you then. Right. So yeah, so the rest of you can head on ahead. A and Professor are staying behind. So, gonna keep going through these in order, Professor?
I will say, I think that Crystal might say something along the lines of, like, if you take too long, we will come back to look for you.
Good.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, he's not especially keen on splitting the party either, but also,
Mm-hmm.
like, he can't listen to the things with Lyra. That's just a bad idea. So you guys
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hang there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you guys are gonna head out of the library. All right. So, you're gonna keep going through these order, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Probably best.
Yep. So you
Remember.
pop in cylinder number 2, and the voice you hear on this one is very familiar to you. It's kind of unfortunate that it's so familiar, in fact, because it is a certain very taunting, mocking, very condescending sort of voice. And, mm-hmm. Oh, Grace. Grace, Grace, Grace. You really did think you could fool me, didn't you? Oh, but worry not, my dear Grace, for I, your faithful patron, shall collect the deed in due time. You wouldn't want our lovely golden arrangement to be all for naught now, would you?
Well,
Yeah, A kind of shivers at the sound of his voice.
it does sound like perhaps she tried to trick him somehow to either get out of the deal or not have to pay it out, but it didn't seem to work.
Well, I guess not if he's still here, but, well, at least she tried, I guess. Hmm.
Yes.
I'm ready to listen to the next one.
Mm. Yeah, he'll load the next one in there.
All right. Let me get this set up. Come on. All right. So the next voice on this one, it's a male. It's a male voice. It sounds like a fairly young, though. You'd say like maybe either probably adolescent, more or less.
Mm.
And it says, "There is a secret I share with Mother. A secret you and Father pretend not to know about, but are well aware of its consequences. I'm intending to take it with me to the grave when the time comes. However, unlike Mother, I will take his hand with full commitment. And then there's a bit of static, like as it starts to skip, and you hear, "Not regret leaving you in that man's hands. Perhaps, if so wishes, we able to meet again some day, my dear sister."
Mm.
And when A hears this, she kind of like her hands kind of go to her mouth, and she has this very shocked look on her face.
Professor will put a hand on her shoulder. Interesting.
And very quietly, like almost under her breath, you hear her whisper a single word, Hugo.
Oh?
The person on the tape, that I that was my brother Hugo.
Ah, I wasn't aware you had a brother.
I guess it never came up.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Can you tell me about him?
I, I wish I could, but try as I might, I've had so much trouble remembering him. All I
Hmm.
know is that I believe we were twins. I think he might have been the older one, or well, he was born first. But
Ah,
mm,
huh. Interesting. Unlike
mm.
meant.
Sorry, you cut off a little bit. What were you saying?
Hmm.
Oatmeal?
What?
No.
Did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
you said like not
Yeah.
unlike. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He just sort of like hummed, and then he read the line, unlike mother, I will take his hand with full commitment. Just kind of puzzling over that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wonder if, uh-oh. Whoa, hello.
Oh, no, that's Avi. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, what was I saying? Uh, I wonder if your brother had some sort of deal with Prince of Gourds, or if he inherited your mother's deal.
I'm not sure, but even if he did, well, she kind of like tenses a little bit, like she's wanting to say something but has to kind of work up the nerve to say it. I asked my aunt about him in my last letter, and she said that he had passed away too.
I see. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we shall keep an eye out for information on him.
Mm-hmm. Um, hmm, yeah.
Hmm.
Shall we listen to the next one?
Ah, yes.
All right. Let me grab this. Okay. Sorry, I need to edit a quick thing for the typed version. Here we go.
Hmm.
All right. So this is number 4, and on this one you hear the voice of a man, definitely an adult, like significantly older than the last one.
Hmm.
And yeah, you wouldn't recognize this. If Azumi was here, he might recognize it slightly. Um, and voice says, "Grace." No, wait, sorry, that was a question mark. "Grace, what am I doing, calling out to you like this? I'm so foolish, so lost without you. Everything changed. No cigar, no liquor. Not even other women can take my thoughts away from you. Grace, if only I'd known how to help you."
Hmm.
Mm,
Well,
I
seems like Hmm?
I think that one might have been my papa.
Sounds like it. It also seems like he was quite distressed after your mother's passing and turned to his vices.
She kind of nods sadly. Yeah, I remember hearing something kind of similar behind one of the doors.
Hmm.
I'm still not sure what to think of him. He wasn't very kind to Lyra from what I know, but he
Hmm.
was he was suffering too from whatever everything that happened to my family. This what happened to Mama. I don't really know if I should forgive him or resent him or what.
Well, that's up to you. It may be true that he was suffering as well, but it still does not. It maybe explains, but does not excuse how he treated um, Lyra.
Hmm.
So I think you'll have to come to your own conclusions, but you don't have to forgive him. Uh, but you can come to a sort of uh, peace with your understanding of the situation.
And she kind of nods. She's definitely kind of mulling this over. Is all she can really do about this. You have one last cylinder left.
Yep, they're gonna play that one.
Hmm. And this one is very similar to the first one in a few different ways. For one, the voice on it seems to be the same as the first one, which
Mm,
means that this is coming from A's mother. And the second is that
mm,
it is kind of damaged, and so a lot of it is skipping over itself, and there's a lot of static. But what you are able to
mm.
make out through all the static is time has come, and yet atone for my sins. All of my regrets can can be belong to him. Greed has led me to this. I have no way of my losses. May he never get to you, my dear. However, apologies will never be enough to cleanse our faiths. Free me from my past. My dear friend, whom fateful night in the woods, meet you in our rightful resting place. My dear and Rose.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Hmm.
That part at the end, it sounded like she was saying it's a name.
Yes.
Hmm.
Had a guess. Perhaps Rosemary?
Perhaps. I don't recognize that name, so it's probably
Hmm.
not somebody I know. Maybe it's someone Mama knew when she was. Hmm.
Younger, perhaps.
That's what I'm thinking.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And I think my losses I never get to you, my dear. I wonder if that's addressed Rosemary
Hmm.
or you. Not sure.
Me either. Hmm.
Interesting. Well, we've got some new information then. Shall we go head up and get dry?
Yes, let's. Uh, And you guys are gonna head down. Meanwhile, back to the other group. Your trip up to the next floor is relatively uneventful, save for one bit. As you guys are going down one of the hallways, you see one of the doors that's usually locked is slightly ajar, and before you can pass by it, Lyra stops everybody, and she says, we're at this part. Let me go first, just for the sake of your safety."
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, Lyra, she takes a step forward, and when she does so, it almost seems to, like, for lack of a better term, activate the conversation behind the door. And you hear, both of you can hear this now because it's a lot louder. Azumi, you hear that same male voice that you heard from behind the door previously, but this time he is shouting. He's shouting about someone, presumably the young girl, which you can put together was Lyra, uh, for leaving her room during the night, and he sounds quite angry at her. And he's like, saying something along the lines of like, "This is the last time you'll ever disobey me." He sounds very upset. You can hear Lyra like tearfully trying to apologize, and you see something goes flying out of the room and hits the wall opposite the door, and there's a shattering sound, and you can see like the water on the floor. There's like some shards of glass and a red liquid, and you can tell that this is a wine bottle.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very pleasant man, was he?
It's not. Well, I can't blame him entirely. He was under quite a bit of stress for a variety of reasons.
I can stomach. If I can find the words. It's still not right of him to put that upon you.
No, it really wasn't, but I didn't have much of a choice back then. She shakes her head. At any rate, we can talk more when we get somewhere dry. Let's continue on.
Are the others going to have the same problem coming through here?
I don't believe so. Once it goes off, it shouldn't, for lack of a better term, reset for a while. It's been my experience.
All right.
Yeah, and I will say out of character, like you, Prof and A, you don't have to worry about this. Um, yeah, I'd say as the two of you are going past the door, A definitely kind of like side eyes the bottle and like kind of warily glances at the door, but when nothing happens, she'll like continue forward.
Oh God, Crystal wants to ask Lyra a question.
Please do, yeah.
I think once they move past the door, Crystal's gonna ask, Lyra, were you the one who locked these doors?
Oh God, I have to think about this. Okay. So sorry, I didn't expect that particular question. All right.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just interesting to think about, honestly. She shakes her head. No, they are locked away by design. Some of the doors on the upper floors I am able to open, but these ones, well, it's probably for the best that they're locked either way. And this time around, you can tell she is telling the truth. She's not the one who locked it. They're just kind of appeared this way. So.
All right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I think she'll also add, yes, well, better that I bear the burden of these memories than my girl has to. It's I suppose it is my role in the system, so to speak. Evelyn has a similar role, though. From what I understand, her memories are quite a bit more unpleasant, even than these ones.
You won't be able to keep them from her forever.
I know, and well, she's overheard some of them now at this point. We're trying to recall these sorts of things gradually, so to speak. If I give her too much all at once, it might be harmful to her.
That makes sense.
Mm.
Just Make sure that you're with her when she discovers them.
Oh my god, Azumi, please don't say that out loud.
What's he thinking?
I'm worried because, like, I feel like if I ask, if he asks this, it's just gonna jump the, like, angst rating.
Mm.
But, like,
I mean, it's already a rated explicit.
what do you...
Absolutely, we can't go any higher than
It
this.
is true. That is true. That's true.
Mhm.
Azumi just goes, Lyra, did your father ever hit you?
She flinches a little bit, and she kind of, like, the grip on her cane tightens a little bit. I think at this point, Azumi can
Okay.
probably tell that, like, this is sort of her tell for, like, when she doesn't want to say something.
Right.
Mm.
Forget I asked.
Mhm.
God, I don't know if Crystal wants to let this go or not.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you're worried about me, then it is all in the past, I assure you. And,
That doesn't change the fact that it still affects you.
well, of course, but we are doing the best we can to move past it, so to speak, and look towards the future, which, well, I'm hoping it will be better, and I believe it will at the very least, because, well, now that A is with me, it should be a little bit easier to survive in that world, so to speak.
You know you don't have to do this. There are people that can help you both.
Mm, I understand that, and I am eternally grateful for the doctors at the Villestown Hospital. They've enlightened me to quite a bit and allowed me to help my girl quite a bit more. There is a lot of work ahead of us, but I hope that we can be prepared for, well, once we return back to Furuma.
Is that what you want?
Um, yeah, she goes quiet for a moment again, and the grip on her cane tenses up a bit. Well, it is what must be done. That is where our aunt lives, and she is our only remaining family who will take us in, so still, it has been therapeutic for us to have this break from the world of high society, so to speak. I did the best that I could, but well, it was rather taxing having to, for lack of a better term, appear normal in front of so many eyes. Mm.
Sorry, that was in character.
Azumi laughs a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of like turns to like in his direction. Like it gives him like a
Oh,
very
sorry. No,
pleased.
no, no. I didn't mean any offense. I just happened to know that firsthand.
Our Forgive me if this is an impertinent question. Would you happen to be of noble blood as well?
I hesitate to call it that. I just happen to be famous.
Yes, I see. Hmm. Hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what he wants to say. Like, I know what he wants to say. I'm just having trouble figuring out how to put it to words.
No, it's all right.
mhm.
Take your time. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
so valid.
what?
I'm just not getting anything from Crystal right
Ah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Just
Yeah.
emotions.
So
Hmm.
Azumi is. I think what he ends up saying is, I do happen to have quite a bit of experience with high-end gatherings, so to speak. We could keep in contact after he makes a vague gesture to after all of this to, and if you ever need an extra hand, I suppose I'd be willing to come along.
Well, I wouldn't want to impose, but I would
That's
appreciate.
why I'm offering.
Mm, well, at the very least, I would sincerely appreciate the advice, and if you all would allow it, I think it would be good for us to keep in contact with you. Um, I'm not sure how close you've grown to A over while this has all been going on, or if this is merely sort of bodyguard relationship, so to speak. But she could use more friends. All of us could, to be honest. We who lived a rather isolated life back home in the manor.
Certainly.
Hmm.
I can't speak for the others, but I definitely plan on keeping in contact with A once this is all done.
Hmm. Thank you. That means a lot to us, actually. And I think you guys hear like a bit of you hear the sound of dripping water for a moment. Fortunately, it's not like as much as it was before, but I think she also like kind of mutters like a quick apology for that, like rubs at her eyes
Mhm.
again.
No, don't apologize. You needed this.
Hmm. Well, I suppose I can consider meeting all of you sort of a silver lining for this situation.
Okay.
I'm afraid
Yeah, you cut
that
out that bit.
Oh, it cut
um,
out. Oh man.
yeah, the whole sentence got garbled. So if you
Oh
could just
dear.
start.
Okay, yeah, I'll restart that. Well, I suppose that meeting all of you could be considered something of a silver lining for this whole situation. Hmm? And, yeah, if unless there's something else you guys want to say, I think we can skip ahead to the next floor.
Yeah, no, all Crystal's handing me is I'm not letting A go back to Faruma.
Aww. We'll have to see what comes of that. But in the present though. So,
Wahoo.
but yeah, so you guys you ascend the stairs. They're still pretty damp, but fortunately there's no like water flowing, so it's a little bit easier to climb the stairs this time around. Um, and you reach like kind of a second floor landing, and there's a doorway leading like into like the main room areas of this floor. Notably, this area looks a lot like better than the previous one, where that one was a lot more kind of melancholy blues and sort of falling apart. This one has the floors have a lot more like warmer tones, and there's like some candles and stuff lighting the hallways, and it looks like a lot more like kind of warm and inviting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, so Lyra will lead you guys down one of the hallways to where there is a very nice sitting room in there. There's like some couches. There's like some lamps. There's not a fireplace in this one, but there's enough like candles and light and heat and stuff that you can warm yourselves up a bit. Uh, there's also like a little stove kind of in the
Nice.
corner, and Lyra's gonna make tea for you guys.
Oh, lovely.
Tea.
So you three are there for a little bit. Meanwhile, Professor, when you and Ake are coming up, roll a perception.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have A also roll this. I'm gonna give her advantage because of reasons. We'll see in a minute.
Mhm.
Oh, come
Let's
on.
type this correctly.
That was
No.
that was an 8 for A. Okay, fortunately, Prof did a little better. That's a 13. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, so as you guys are going along, so A's leading you to like the door to where the sitting room is, but to the right of that door, there's another door that kind of stands out from the rest of this place. Whereas the rest of the place is more like kind of warm tones, this door is like a very like deep, like kind of bright sort of blue.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I will note, when the three of you were going, when the previous group was going through, you didn't see any door like that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh. Hmm. Hey, do you know where this one goes?
She looks up and she glances over the door and that's strange. I don't remember this door from last time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They did agree to investigate doors before opening them, so if I may roll an investigation just to make sure that
Absolutely.
nothing's gonna jump me
Oh,
from the other
definitely, yeah.
side.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see. That is... yes, 17.
Perfect. Okay, so good news, there is no like water leaking from under the door, and you don't sense like any like obvious traps or anything. Upon closer inspection, this blue door, it's kind of got like little glittery bits, sort of like a sky full of stars. And on the front of it, there is a crescent moon shape emblem on it. And with that roll, you will also note if you try the handle, it is locked and it has a little keyhole in it. So presumably you need the key to this door.
Hmm.
Does A have the key or does Crystal have the key?
A held onto the key, Crystal took the book. So
Yep.
so Professor,
Oh,
do you
pity.
relay all this to A? Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be locked. Have you seen anything with, I don't know,
Blue crescent moon?
stars or moon? Yes.
She digs around in her pocket and produces a small blue key with a crescent moon on the handle.
Oh, have you just had that?
I found it earlier. When we were at Colette's house. It was in the library.
Oh, strange place for a key.
Hmm. I guess it must have been hidden or
Well,
something. Hmm.
oh, perhaps. Would you like to
Hmm.
try it?
Hmm. Let's meet up with the rest of the group first, and then we can check it out, just to be safe.
All right, probably best.
All right, so you guys enter the sitting room. I think around this time, Lyra's probably done with the tea, and she's pouring cups of it for you all. If anyone tries to help her, she will refuse. She wants to do this herself. She's very stubborn about this.
Professor will help A like dry off with prestidigitation because it can only do a square foot at a time, so you have to cast it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that she's not all completely soaked anymore.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good to know. All right. So, yes, you guys spend a little bit of time, and I will say this will count as a short rest if anybody needs one.
I will take that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So while you guys are having the short rest, curiously enough, at one point, A gets up, sets her teacup down, gets up from one of the little couches, and she's examining on the back wall. There's this really weird kind of looking painting. It's sort of like this sort of like mirrored effect, like when you have like kind of the mirror split down the middle, so it looks like there's two people on either side of it. This one, it's sort of like a person kind of like bent at the waist. So it's got this weird like sort of Siamese twin looking effect, like they're joined at the hip, and then the upper torso is kind of like bent outwards. It's a little bit like kind of creepy looking, honestly. But for whatever reason, she's kind of like examining the painting, like see if she can look behind it and whatnot.
What's up with that painting?
Oh, well, it's not the painting itself, so to speak. The last time I was here, there's this room that appeared briefly, but then it disappeared. But there was a mirror in it. It's actually the first place I saw Angelique. And Lyra chimes in with "Oh dear, she has that girl hasn't been bothering you, has she?" No, no, no. Quite the opposite. We're trying to find her. Um, she she has the last piece of my regalia, but more importantly, she got pretty badly injured. I see. Are you quite sure you should be going near that girl? I mean, I'm not sure if she's to be trusted. She's not exactly a part of our system, so to speak. Hmm.
Well, not much harm in patching her up, I don't think. We can be wary and still be charitable.
I suppose so. We are actually looking for her in this area. We think she might have run in here. Did you hear anything like that? No, unfortunately not. I ran into the library and I had stayed there for quite a while, so if anyone had gone past, I suspect with the sound of rushing water, I wouldn't have heard them. But I suppose there's a chance that she may still be in here, so it's worth looking at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, speaking of doors, there's one in the hall that I thought we ought to check out. Perhaps that's what we can do next. It's locked, but A found the key to it.
Which door would that be? It's well, it sort of appeared. I don't think it was here last time. It's this blue door with the crescent moon on it. That is rather odd. I don't recall seeing anything like that. Maybe it's because you didn't have the key? I'm not sure.
This was this the key you found in the book?
She nods and she'll hold it up for you to see.
What book did you find it in? Maybe it's important.
Right. I did bring it with us. Hold on 1 second.
Ah,
And
good.
she's gonna rummage in her hammer space.
Yeah. Wanna roll a d10 for that?
Yep, that's an
Yep.
8. She's able to pull it out, and I think
Alright.
she's going to comment, so glad hammer spaces remain dry. Checking as well that there was no water leakage.
Yeah. Hey, Professor, roll perception on that book.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is a 15.
All right. So as you are leafing through the book, you see at the front page it says. Hang on, let me double check what it's written here. Yeah. So the book is entitled "A Boy's Midnight Journey" by Hugo Heydrich. And didn't you hear the name Hugo very recently?
Oh, yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he clocks that.
Mm-hmm.
And he like leans down to show it to A. This is the name on this book, Hugo Heydrich.
Yes, that's right. Sorry for not bringing it up earlier, Dr. Crystal. Um,
Oh.
yeah. I think Lyra will explain. Uh, mm, uh, that is indeed the name of. Well, I suppose it would be our brother. He we recently learned that he had passed away as well. So I sorry, I just don't. I guess I don't like talking about it. But um, well, hmm, if that's his book and if the door's associated with him, maybe I'll be able to find some memories of him finally.
Perhaps. Hmm.
Uh, actually, speaking of memories, Lyra says, let me see. I swear I put it around here somewhere. And she kind of uh, she kind of crouches down and like reaches under like one of the couches, kind of fumbling, fumbling with her hand. And of course, she can't see it. And she pulls out a large book from underneath there, and it looks like to be a photo album of some sort. Um, I found this in the library a little while back. I thought that perhaps this might help refresh some of your memories as well. I'd been needing to show it to you, but well, with all the trouble that's been going on.
Hmm.
Yeah. And let me pull this up here. Okay. The spoiler that for Scopo. All right. So yeah, she opens up the book, and there's like a few different pages in there. Quite a few of them are of A. And there's one that she points out specifically, though, that's it appears to have taken place around Christmas time, judging by the tree in the background. Let me pull this up. So you guys see this picture, which was drawn by the lovely and talented Vamp.
Oh,
Me.
Oh.
Me. That and Lyra will explain. That little girl next to you, that is your cousin. I believe her name is Anya. She is our Aunt Eleanor's daughter. Oh, I guess that means when we go to stay with her, we'll get to see her again, won't we? Yes, indeed, I suppose we will. I do wonder if she still remembers us. She couldn't have been more than 5 years old, I believe, when this picture was taken. And I think Abe will also say, the girl in the picture, is that you? Or, well, are you the one fronting, I suppose? And Lyra nods. And I'm gonna say you can roll an insight on the picture, just for a little extra detail.
mm.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, that's a 14 for me.
Alright, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not great.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, so Azumi gets this, and Prof, okay, I'll start with Prof's because like he wrote a bit lower. So yeah, Prof, you notice her smile in the picture. It seems a little bit forced, but it's more so in that way of when like you're doing something and somebody's like, "Hey, smile for a picture," and you kind of have to like keep that
Mm.
smile on your face, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's that sort of thing. Azumi, you notice a few more details. Particularly not just like the forced smile, but also like kind of the way she's holding her hand, like the way she's gripping it. You get the sense that like in this picture, she's very tense. Like even at this age, Lyra specifically, is kind of like putting up a front, sort of like what she described beforehand. And you especially notice this like in contrast to her little cousin, who looks a lot more like legitimately like happy and enthused to be there. And I will also note as a fun little bonus thing. So her cousin Anya is an XP of someone from another RPG horror maker game. And if anyone is able to guess like who she is an XP of, I'll give you a point of inspiration. You don't have to do this right now, but just kind of fun little bonus thing I wanted to throw in there. Huh? Who said that?
Is that fucking Ib?
No, it is not.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, nah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't play horror games, so
Fair
I'm
enough.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say this one's a little bit tricky because technically she's younger than she is. In this picture, she's younger than she is like in the game proper. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit tricky there.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah. So you see that picture, but you also see. Let me grab the other one. Where did I put that? Here we go. All right. I'm gonna spoiler this just to be safe. So you guys see this photo here.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So yes, you see a younger-looking A depicted again next to a somewhat frail and sickly-looking woman, a man who has a mustache and is very stately-looking, and another boy who looks to be exactly A's age. In fact, the two look quite similar to one another.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like their expressions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly torn between like they're sad and like in old photos, like they often just kind of had a serious expression because it is
Yep.
easier to keep a neutral face for like 10 minutes than a smile.
Took them
Entirely
so
fair.
long to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep. Mm. And it definitely kind of looks definitely like a little sad, like when she sees this, very much melancholy, because as has been revealed up to this point, only one of the people in this photo is still alive.
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad I can remember their faces at least.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Uh, I think Lyra will say, my apologies, my girl. I didn't mean to bring the mood down so much. No, it's okay. Like I said, I'm glad I can see them like this, even if they're not around anymore, and I still have their memories of them, right? And she takes her pocket mirror out and kind of holds it to her chest, and she says, it's like what Mama told me. I need to keep my memories close to my heart.
Mm.
Hmm. And she'll put the pocket mirror away again, and she says, well, if everyone's feeling better, do we want to try that other door now?
Sure.
No point in wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Crystal didn't spend very long looking at the pictures at all.
Mm-hmm.
She,
Mm.
Yeah, do we want to roll another insight on Crystal?
Yeah,
we
let's
can.
roll an
Hold
insight
on.
on Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting anything. Azumi, help me out.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 7.
Let's see what my girls are able to do. Well, not too bad. Okay, well,
Yeah.
dang. So that was a deception from Crystal, right? The 13.
Yeah, so A's
Yeah.
not getting anything,
No.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
Lyra
probably
only got a 10.
fortunately, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lyra will just get it, and Azumi has more context. Ha, no, ill mother, unhappy family photo. Nope, she's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Lyra will kind of like glance over and say something like, "Is everything all right, Dr. Crystal? You seem to have gone a bit quiet."
I Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what I need to figure out what she's gonna say.
Zuby's giving her a pointed look.
Mm-hmm.
She is resolutely ignoring him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um I'm all right. I would like to continue on though.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you are sure, I will not force you to say anything. Hmm. And, I think she'll close the photo book and stow it back underneath the couch.
I do want to say on recording, the art is very cute. Thank you, Launch.
No, that one was Vamp.
Oh,
Oh, it was Vamp! Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
that
you,
was.
Vamp!
yeah.
thank you, Vamp. That's very
Thank
cute.
you, Vamp.
Yeah. No, the majority of the art was launches, but this one I got from Vamp, who did an amazing job. It is so adorable.
Alright.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's continue to move on. So you guys arrive at the blue door outside the sitting room. Ave will take the key, and she will insert it into the lock, and indeed it clicks open, and you are able to go inside. And fortunately, no like torrents of water come splashing out at you. Thankfully.
Mm.
Right. Out of curiosity, Crystal, do you still have the book out, or did you put it back in your hammer space?
I think it's still out because she probably didn't think to put it back in her hammer space even if she still got it on her.
All right, we will tuck that away and come back to that later.
Oh.
Like it's in her hands,
No,
but
no,
it's
don't
not
worry
in her
about
hammer
it.
space.
It's fine. It's cool. It's chill. Anyways, so you guys enter the room, and it's fairly small. You can tell pretty quickly that this is some sort of bedroom, judging by there is a bed, obviously. There's a dresser, there's a desk, there's a window next to the desk, and you guys can see kind of that similar moonlit sky you saw through the big windows earlier. However, the room kind of seems to be in a bit of disarray. There are pieces of paper kind of scattered all over the place. And I would like everybody to roll investigation. And based on that, we're going to see who finds what notes, because there is quite a bit to find in here.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, Lyra got a nat 20.
Ooh.
Nice.
Dang. And A got a 10.
Mhm.
We got a 19
Crystal
from...
is fine.
She's
Oh, man.
fine. And that is a
I hate
19
him
from the
so
2
much.
with a total of 30.
I hate him so much.
God. So Lyra's like, oh boy, I got a nat 20. And Zuby's just like, nah, move over, I got this.
Investigation is one of the things he was billed for.
Mm-hmm.
Azumi, you need to learn to share the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Really does. All right. So I'm gonna kind of go from the bottom and work our way up to the top. So so we'll start with A. A finds a note on A finds a note on the ground. Let me grab this. Yeah, this one is kind of like sitting in the middle of the floor. And she will read it out. It says, oh, excuse me, sorry. God, no, my throat was weird for a sec. So,
Yeah, take a moment.
okay. Okay, so yeah, A finds a note that's kind of sitting in the middle of the floor. It's very badly torn up, but here's the words that she's able to read from it. And she'll read off, cry out her name, Rosemary, Rosemary. All I could hear was your cries and his impish laughter. Oh, Professor, it's that name again.
Yes, it is. All I could... Who wrote it? All I could hear were your cries and his impish laughter. Probably the Prince of Guards. Who was crying out? I don't know, your mother, maybe?
Perhaps if they were friends. Oh
Right.
gosh, I wonder if something happened to Rosemary.
Perhaps. After all, let's see, what was it that, fateful night in the woods, meet you in our rightful resting place. Perhaps she passed before your mother did.
Oh, that's so sad.
Just a theory.
All right. Moving on, we have Crystal's role. Crystal, you find a torn up note that's sitting at like near like kind of the foot of the bed, but like still on the floor. It's like you kind of have to like duck down and like reach under the bed to find the pieces of it. And this one reads, actually, I'll have you read it out because you found it. So.
All right. I found another one. It says, that foolish mother of mine, after all you've done, yet you still cling to that poor girl's.
Maybe Hugo wrote that one? I mean, it had to be either him or me, I guess, and well, I'd say I don't remember writing it, but there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. But this is his room.
Yes. Poor girl. I wonder if that's you or Rosemary.
I'm not quite sure. And I think with that we can move on to the next one. Professor, here is your note. Actually, I'm gonna say you find two of them. Okay. So you find one note that is sitting on top of the bed, and one note that is near the bookshelf. So here are your two notes.
All right, let's see. I've got, says, I can't thank for my own fate. gotten away with no consequences. In the dead of night, over and over again. Not sure about that one. And this one says, as though she could save you from, over and over again, I heard my mother, your own poor choices.
It's talking about mother again and over. Maybe she was crying out the name Rosemary over and over?
And at night. And the book said, let's see, because he was flipping through it while they were doing something else.
Yeah, he'd noted. Yeah.
Something about, well, presuming the book is describing Hugo himself, it said something about him hearing the voices of the dead at night. Every night.
So maybe he was hearing Rosemary, if that story is true. I mean, I guess it could also just be a
Maybe.
story. Who knows?
Right. Although his what was it? The wax cylinder. It said there is a secret I share with mother, which might be related, might not be.
It could be about this Rosemary person, or it could be about the deal that mother made. Or it could be both. Who knows?
Yes, I wonder if she's related to it. If Rosemary's part of either the deal or why it took place, or interesting.
All right. And at this point, Lyra chimes in. Pardon the interruption, everyone. I do believe I have found something that might be important. And she holds up a journal that was sitting on the desk. And she flips through the pages, and this is, oh dear, most of this is scratched out. I hope that there's, oh, here we are. This one seems legible. The day has finally come, and I don't intend on looking back. I'm choosing my own path, one that will take me far away from this nightmare. If the only way out is to take that fiend's invitation, then so be it. I will join him. I will trust myself to him. All for a single chance at happiness.
Well, it sounds like Hugo decided to join the Prince of Gourds. I don't know why, what he was promised. Well, happiness, but...
He took a deal with him too. I guess, well, if he knew about the deal Mother made, maybe that's how he knew, but I don't understand. Why would he want to make a deal with him? And at this point, I'm going to go to Azumi's role, because Azumi, while everyone else has been scrounging around for these notes and scraps of paper, you notice that the book that Crystal is carrying has started to glow a little bit. Specifically, the crescent moon-shaped emblem on the front.
Yeah, Azumi's just gonna point at that and go, maybe that has an answer for us.
Well, the last time I tried to look at it, there was only one passage. The rest of it was all scratched out. But I guess it's worth checking. Maybe something's changed?
Well, this door did show up, so...
Oh, that is true. It's worth a try.
Yeah, Crystal's gonna open it. Maybe a touch, like, hesitantly, given that it's glowing, but,
All right. So yeah, it is indeed glowing, and when you open the book, it does the thing where like like with a magic spell book, like the pages will like start flipping by themselves, like there's like a gust of wind almost sort of effect. Yeah. And when that eventually settles down, you will see that the book has indeed changed. There are not only are there legible words on it, but there are also illustrations on it. And I'm going to post this here. I'm going to say it's probably not a good idea to, actually, let me spoil that for Scopo. I'm going to say you don't have to watch this yet. It's kind of more of a supplementary thing. Like, this is what this part is going to be kind of based on. I'm going to describe all the images and whatnot, but it's definitely worth checking out because this is a very cool little animation sort of thing. Let me.
I will say Crystal will have done this like to allow the other people to have a look at it as well when she opened it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to read this off, and then I will post the written version. So, we begin showing let me see. What is that? So it begins with a picture of Hugo and A. Though curiously enough, A's eyes, like, she doesn't have eyes in the picture. It's kind of like stylized in that way. So like she has like this big grin on her face, but there's no eyes. And and Hugo, and she's smiling and like doodling on a piece of paper. Meanwhile, Hugo is surrounded by all these like big textbooks, and he has a very kind of unenthused look on his face. And the text reads, "Expectations, obligations, tedium. Such were the blessings bestowed by my sister, whose rampant desire for escapism soared, leaving my own in a dormant slumber, born to rot in a household of lasting absences and harrowing regrets." And the next page, it shows a very opulent ballroom full of all sorts of like very fancily dressed high society type people. And one of which is shown the man you saw in the family photo, presumably A and Hugo's father, who's kind of like chatting away with one of the guests. And the text reads, "Veiled behind a well-rehearsed play of make-believe and self-deceit to keep our Hydrich pride afloat, away from scrutiny, away from scorn. It was all we had left. A foul play to hide the smoldering curse awaiting our impending fall from grace. Such had been the blessing bestowed upon me by my heedless father." And change to the next page, we show the twins standing next to each other. This time, this is less of a this is more of a realistic kind of drawing for them. A has eyes in this one, and she's smiling. Meanwhile, Hugo has that sort of like kind of neutral, unimpressed look on his face again. Of the two of us twins, only she had been prematurely hexed. Shattered, battered, cracked into three to never be made whole again. Not one of her reflections recognized me, acknowledged me, even looked me in the eye. And now, kept from my most cherished friend, out of our mother's funeral chambers and away from father, there was nothing left. Not for Hugo Hydrich, this unfortunate soul, trapped within a golden cage of dismal solitude. Nothing left but to follow in her footsteps. And on the next page, we see Hugo extending a hand to a very familiar figure, one with horns and eyes hidden by long bangs, and a grinning mouth full of sharp teeth. Thus, answering my silent plea for deliverance, "I thought you'd never reach out to me, my boy. I can give you what you want. All I need is your name." And in very bold letters is written the name Hugo Hydrich. And the next page there's simply text that reads, "Wherever my foolishness may take me, whatever the cost it may have, I'm taking his hand devoid of regrets. Whether I've escaped my own fate or delved deeper into it, it's of no concern to me so long as I escape my family's burden. Not here, not like this. I want to be anywhere but here." And in the final page of this is written in a yellowish sort of scrawl, a bit different, like not quite as fancy as like the text that was written beforehand. And Crystal and A will recognize this because this was the same sort of thing that was written at the end of the book before before like all this new text appeared. And it reads, No one around him will ever know about the secret of his. Such a privilege only belongs to me, my dear. And let me post this. Okay, but eventually it's up. It might take a minute to load in. There we go. Okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a downer. I wonder what actually happened to him. Perhaps we can ask the Prince of Chords.
I think at this point, A's been kind of standing there, like, stunned for most of this, but she drops to her knees and just kind of quietly mumbling to herself, like, Hugo, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Oh, dear.
It's not your fault.
Mm. It really isn't, my girl. Lyra chimes in. Mm.
No, it seems like... It seems like you were... I mean, aside from both being in a rather terrible situation, which might have been enough for one to sort of uh, hide inwards and withdraw from the other people, it seems that this hex, this curse, uh, essentially prevented you from interacting with Hugo in a meaningful way.
Mm.
That's what's written, at least.
That is true. I do wonder if he meant hex in a literal or metaphorical sense, Lyra will say. That boy, our brother, I never could connect with him. I I knew I never really had that. I suppose we must have been, or you must have been friends. One of us must have been friends with him when we were younger before all of us split, but he always he always looked at me so scornfully even when I tried to be friendly to him. Oh, it wasn't just him, the rest of the family did as well. Hmm.
Hmm, how odd.
Hmm. I do have to wonder, though, if he did indeed make this deal, it would make little sense for him to die immediately after, unless his life was the price somehow. But no, it said it was his name, so our aunt said that he had been deceased, but hmm, do you think it's possible he could
Perhaps.
have faked his death somehow?
I, hmm,
Entirely plausible.
Hmm.
yes. Hmm. Perhaps he is unrecognizable. That would make it even easier. If he perhaps changed in some way.
Hmm. If his wish was to escape, then that would make quite a bit more sense. Perhaps he may be going by a different name as well if he gave up his own. I can't say for certain, though, but, well, at the very least, I think she kind of crouches down and puts a hand on A's shoulder. At the very least, our brother may still be alive yet, even if he has made this deal with this demon, or, hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
There you go on.
No, yeah, A kind of like mulls this over for a little bit. She's kind of just thinking, if, hmm,
Mhm.
if he is alive, then, hmm, I I don't know how possible it would be, but I'd like to try and find him. If we're able to all get out of here and get through this, if he's alive, then I want to talk to him about all of this all the stuff he wrote, everything that happened to us. I mean, it sounds like he was suffering just as much as we were, and if anyone could understand what he was going through, it'd be us. Hmm.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you've got connections now to a detective who's got connections to several others.
Yeah, we are unionized.
That's right.
I don't remember if it was this go around or the previous one where you made that joke.
I think A kind of like looks up like curiously at him and it's like, "What's a union?" And then Lyra responds with, "I believe it is when workers sort of band together, something along those lines."
For better working conditions, etc., etc. It's a long story.
This does raise a certain point, though. This is the second time that names have been mentioned as holding power. I'm wondering whether we should be doing something to be careful about that.
Hmm. Well, if we are able to find Angelique, um, if we can find that last piece of regalia, maybe that's why he's been chasing her down, so I can't get it. I mean, if I can remember my name, then maybe he won't have power over me anymore.
That would be nice.
Perhaps.
I mean, we'll have to make sure that she'll be okay too. Even if it does get me my name back, I don't want her getting hurt either.
Right.
Hmm.
Did you mean about us, Crystal?
Well, yes. Sorry. I was distracted by thinking of, but yes. Um, we are not part of A's psyche naturally. It is possible that we could be susceptible to that magic.
Well, hmm.
Well, from what we understand, you would have to make a deal with him of sorts, and I have my doubts that any of you would want to.
Right. And, well, I can tell you that the professor is not my true name in the magical sense.
Mhm.
I know
Sweet.
it, but
Say that out loud.
I suppose that makes sense, for I assumed Professor seemed more like a title of sorts, but I didn't want to be impolite and ask otherwise.
oh, well, it's sort of a title, sort of a name, but part of the culture I grew up in. Um, we were very aware of the power that names hold, and so we learn our true names at a young age and never use them publicly.
Hmm. I see. What a fascinating culture you must come from.
You were so lucky that Crystal rolled low on her history check just then.
Hmm.
No.
All right. If it's all right with you guys, if we can take a small break right now. We're almost at the end. I only have like one last thing planned for this. So
Please.
okay. So
Yep.
I'm gonna pause, and we'll
Yeah.
be back in a few minutes. All right.
Okay.
And we are back. All right. So now that you guys have kind of wrapped things up in that room, I'm gonna kind of speed run us ahead a little bit to the next floor, which is the third floor of this place. So this place, once again, you're kind of seeing the more run-down kind of decor, the darker tones, that sort of thing. Um, and this area, it's kind of arranged sort of like a big circle, or a square or a rectangle might be more accurate with how the hallways are. So it basically, the hallway kind of goes in a big circle, and at the center of it is this garden. It's got like kind of a gazebo in the middle. It's a lot more dismal than Colette's garden because like it's perpetually raining, and it's a lot like darker out there.
Mm.
Actually, hold on. I need to roll hammer space. I want to see if Crystal can pull out an umbrella.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go out there because like it's kind of like in the center area. You don't have to really go through. You can just like go around the circle of like the hallway part. It's kind of like a circle hallway and then like a outside area like in the center of it.
All right, cool. Then no need to go out in the rain.
Yeah, no, they can avoid it, and Lyra will definitely persuade you like not to because like you just got dry, guys. Like, don't want you guys catching a cold. I know this is a mental demi plane, but still.
Mhm.
Anyways, so let's see. I want to have you guys roll investigation just to like for cursory like search of like all these rooms because there's like a few of them there.
Oh.
Yeah, some of the doors are locked, some are not. So let's see what you guys come up with.
An
22.
investigation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you guys come across so the rooms that are unlocked. Majority of them are like kind of storage rooms. For like they have like bits of like furniture and stuff. One's kind of like a slightly more like rundown looking one. You do find mirrors in these places. However, these mirrors have been smashed to bits, and in like the mess of like shattered glass all over the floor, you see there are a few like damaged looking feathers amongst all the mess.
Mm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I zoned out for a second. What did you say?
No, sorry. I'm saying that you guys are searching the rooms, and of the ones that are open, you find like some storage rooms that do have mirrors in them, but the mirrors have been shattered, and in the mess of like glass on the floor, there's also like some damaged feathers. And I think with those rules, you can all put together that what most likely happened is that Angelique might have come through here and smashed the mirror specifically to like make it harder to follow her.
Oh,
So she's been going around smashing mirrors in here.
super.
Mm-hmm. I will say with
Good.
the 26, I'll give you a little something extra for Azumi. So as you guys are passing by one of the locked doors, you overhear a conversation going on. Yeah, the sound of it sounds like it's two very well-to-do women who are gossiping with one another. And the bit that stands out to you is hang on, let me get this. Well, don't tell everyone I said this, but I heard this rumor about his late wife. Apparently, she wasn't even of nobility. Really? You're kidding? No, I'm certain of it. She's just some peasant girl from some nowhere little village, and I suppose Count Hydrich was just so smitten with her that he took her in.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what you hear of that, Azumi.
Interesting. Sorry, I had to let my door.
Mm-hmm.
Azumi, are you fucking serious? Okay, I'm like, I'm at the point in the evening where I'm having trouble like making thoughts connect.
Mm-hmm.
I pat you so
Uh,
gentle. Please take your time.
yeah, so but, like Azumi is just like, I don't know if now's a good time to say anything about this.
I
Mm.
mean, like I said, it's just a little extra like tidbit for him. He can share it or keep it
Yeah,
to himself.
yeah, he'll just hold on to it for the now.
Right. So yeah, so you guys are going through this area. You keep finding the mirrors seem to be smashed, and eventually Lyra says, "Well, it seems our options may be a bit limited. There is one area that may still have an intact mirror. It possibly could be a bit more difficult for her to have gotten into, but I was hoping we wouldn't have to go in there."
Mm. It's a good thing I don't believe in luck because this would be a lot of bad luck.
Hmm. That's certainly one way of putting it. Hmm. What place are you
Crystal
thinking
is
of?
kind of pissy right now,
Oh,
muttering
boy.
to herself.
Yeah. Um, my girl, did you happen to come across a ballroom when you were last here? Yes, it's, I think kind of to the north of here. Um, well, I remember when I was there, there was, there was a party, but there was there was a murder of some sort, and, well, she kind of like, she's blushing a little bit and, like, kind of, like, glancing down at the ground. I kind of, tried to play detective and figure out, who the murderer was, but, well, they didn't believe me and they locked me in a room.
Oh.
Hmm. You guys kind of, like, get the impression that, like, she's a bit shy about this because, like, there's an actual detective here, so.
Oh.
Aw.
Aw.
He's not making any comment about it.
Aw.
I think Crystal's just gonna say, well, that was kind of rude.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I guess it doesn't work out like it always work out like in the stories, right?
That's true.
Zumi's not saying anything.
Does get a snort from Crystal, actually. Like, things don't work out in the movies, like, aha, understatement.
You know, that's like they don't know, and it's like the person
Yeah.
standing at a park. That is, Azumi's thought was, she doesn't know I'm also a murderer.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Oh man.
so are we supposed to find a mirror in this ballroom?
I think there were a few mirrors in there. I wonder if those people might be there again. I certainly hope not, but we'll have to see for ourselves, I suppose. And yeah, they're gonna lead you to kind of the north of this area, which is where the ballroom is. And indeed, there are these two big double doors there. I will just say there's no water leaking out from under them, so you're fine there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if anyone wants to like kind of peek, like open the door crack and peek in. I'm gonna let you roll stealth to kind of like get a look inside.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh.
How many people are going to be peeking, or is it just for the professor?
I mean, can it be one? It can be as many as you guys want. I'll leave that up to you. My only caveat is that you have to do like the tune gag where like you have like the heads on top of each other as you're peeking in.
Scooby stack.
Yeah,
Alright, 16 ain't bad.
that's pretty good. Crystal, is that your roll or was that a previous roll?
No, that's a previous role. She's not. I think if the professor's doing it, like, she's not going to, because the less people that are doing it, the more likely that there are to be not spotted.
Fair enough.
My investigation from earlier.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So Azumi and Prof, you do fine. I think like Prof, as you're trying to do like the Scooby stack head thing, like
I didn't
you bend into Azumi a little bit. Oh, what?
I didn't roll stealth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. My bad. Okay, so it was just Prof. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah. So Professor, you look in. You're fine. Yeah, and you see. There is a party going on in here. There are a bunch of people. The curious thing about them, though, is that you don't see people. You see like suits and dresses that look like they should have people in them, but they are empty, and they're just kind of floating around, like as though like somebody was wearing them. But all of them are invisible. But yeah, from what you can tell, it just seems like just kind of a light party atmosphere. Everyone's talking, having a good time. Doesn't seem like anything too wrong in here. So you can report that to the rest of the group if you wanna.
Yes, you will. Nothing seems to be amiss.
Hmm. Well, I suppose that's how it always sort of seems on the surface, looking at things from the outside. But she shakes her head. At any rate, would you all be opposed to me going in there first? If that's quite all right.
Why?
Well, I have a bad feeling about what might happen when we go in there, but let's just say I have experience with this sort of thing.
I'm going in with you.
Hmm. Well, if you
Good, because
insist.
I was about to say that that's not making me want to let you go in there by yourself.
Hmm.
No.
Well, I'm supposed to be for the best. I mean, you did say that you had some experience with this sort of thing. She says to Azumi.
Quite.
All right, and she'll offer her arm to kind of escort her you're in there as you would do like at a party.
Yeah, kind of just takes her hand and like lets it puts it in on his elbow. You know the gesture.
Yeah,
He also is doing that pleasant voice smile. You know the one.
I know the
Mm.
one. Yeah.
Actually, right before they go in, I think Crystal's gonna wait. Professor, can you confirm whether the mirrors were intact?
I will say
Oh,
that yes, he did see the mirrors and they were intact, and no sign of feathers in there
Cool.
either. Or actually, wait, no, scratch that. No, you wouldn't be able to see from that far if there were feathers or not.
okay.
You
Yeah,
have to go a little further
just
in.
checking.
Yeah, but the
Just
Mm.
mirrors
checking
are
that
indeed
this is
intact. So
even necessary.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All
Yes,
right.
there were mirrors.
Okay. So, as the two of you enter the room, the atmosphere shifts like in an instant, and this warm sort of it was this sort of like warm and pleasant like party atmosphere. Uh, it turns like ice cold, and uh, all of the um, all of the these floating like clothes, these dresses and suits, turn to look directly at the two of you. And while none of them have faces, you have this like sensation of eyes watching you, watching your every move, scrutinizing everything you're doing. And I'm gonna have both of us roll charisma saves. I am gonna give advantage to the both of us simply because, as was mentioned, both of you kind of have experience with this sort of thing, so to speak. Hmm?
So that was just a
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
at advantage.
Okay,
Ooh,
so his
very
other
nice.
was a 12.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
All right.
nice.
So yeah, so the two of you are the very picture of poise and elegance and all that as you strut your way across the room. Is what happens is as you guys go further in, you can hear like all sorts of like whispering about the both of you, very like judgmental sort of stuff. I'm trying to think because it would be kind of personalized for each of you. I don't know. I don't think we need to go into it mostly because you guys passed your saves. Something would have happened if you had not. Out of curiosity, I am kind of curious. I'll do what Lyra's was first, and I think the people by the door will be able to hear this too now that like the whispers are kind of rising. It's let me see what was I mean the smile of hers is just so unnatural. It's like she's a painted doll or something. And oh, she always seems so above it all, doesn't she? Like she lives perfect. And it's a lot of like kind of disparaging comments, like very jealous, like sort of stuff like that.
Oh
Uh,
man, you could probably say the same for Azumi.
Well, Azumi's a lot more natural. He's had years to perfect
That's true.
his.
That's
So
true.
mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, out of curiosity, do you want to do for flavor, like what kind of the whispers Azumi would be hearing, or we can just skip over it?
the I'll come back to that.
That's all right. But yeah, so you guys make it to the mirror just fine.
I
Out of curiosity,
think
like, are you gonna wait by the mirror, or are you gonna just go through?
um I think he's gonna check to see if the others are coming first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Professor's ready to go through with Crystal and A.
All right. All three of you guys going in together?
Yeah.
You're supposed so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Charisma saves, and these ones are going to be normal ones.
Mm.
I do want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Probably while they were walking into the room and walking across, Azumi kind of does like mutter to Lyra. He goes, a word of advice. If they don't bother to get to know you personally, then I wouldn't pay any mind to what they have to say.
And as she whispers back, it's quite all right. I've gotten used to it. All right.
That's not what I meant. Oh, Crystal!
Yeah.
Ah.
All right, so Professor, you hear the whispers, but you make it through just fine. Whatever you hear, it just it doesn't phase you. Crystal, and I'm gonna say A, like just barely doesn't make it. Crystal, do you want to flavor your whispers first? And then I'll tell you. Actually, no. Let me tell you this part first. Basically, you hear the you hear the whispers like rising in volume, and it's really getting to you. And both you and A are afflicted with the frightened condition, and you both feel compelled to run out of the ballroom.
Right, okay. God, oh, I,
Mm-hmm.
I think I know how to flavor this, and I don't necessarily have words.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what words it is, but I do have an idea of why this is affecting her particularly this bad.
You can give like kind of the gist of it, like not specific words.
Because Crystal has currently got the overblot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it talks to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
So she's been like putting up with like a voice in the back of her head sort of like whispering like negative things to her for a while now. And I think she's having trouble telling the difference between it and the people at the moment.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, so just general negative stuff like, oh, you're a failure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You could have
things.
done better.
Yeah, and the what are you even doing here? You're only making things worse. Things like that.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, you guys hear you can all hear A's whispers because these ones are like the loudest of all. You hear like so disgraceful. Oh, her poor mother would be ashamed of her. You should have heard about the tantrum she showed at the last party. It was simply shameful, and just like so many like whispers about like how she's disgracing her family and like all of this stuff about her. And she almost seems to like weather it, but she just can't quite take it, and so she runs out of the room as well.
Is the professor with Lyra and Azumi?
He would have stopped seeing them run back and basically gone back to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I imagine they kind of made it halfway and then they ran and he is going back to get them again. We'll catch up in a moment.
Azumi just kind of oof.
All right. So yeah, you guys are back outside of the ballroom. A is kind of like she's kind of like hugging her arms to her chest and like kind of shuddering a little bit.
What I would like to do is give both of them bardic inspiration. Can I do that with flavor?
Absolutely, please do.
All right. All right now. whatever those people are saying is very likely not true and probably exaggerated, and it's just taking the negative things that people think about you or that you think about yourself and heightening it and exaggerating it to make you feel bad. But it's not true. You can. They don't know you like I know you do. Granted, I've met you recently, but you're a lovely girl. You're kind and compassionate and clever. And Dr. Everlight, you are industrious and very intelligent and also compassionate and trustworthy. So let's all try again and hold our heads a little higher. What do you think?
I mean, I want to give it another try. I just, it's not what they were saying about me. It's that when I was walking through there, I had this thought that the other girls had to endure this, so who knows how many times, and I didn't, and because I wasn't here, they, you know, the gist of it is that like she's kind of feeling guilty because like she knows that like her alters probably had to endure that kind of treatment. Meanwhile, she
Yeah.
hadn't quite manifested, so to speak.
Yeah, he just kind of shakes his head with like a soft smile, like, that's not your fault.
Mhm.
That has nothing to do with you. They did go through that, and perhaps at a later date you can commiserate with them on how how mean this room is.
That gets her to giggle a tiny bit.
But for now, we've got to get to that mirror.
I think A kind of glances over at Crystal and she says, uh, Doc- Dr. Crystal, are you going to be okay going through there again?
Mm. Her eyes are sort of going to flick from A to the professor. She hasn't said anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm not sure if I can do this.
Mm.
Well, if it comes to it, I'll come back and get you with Dimension Door. We can just skip through.
All right. One more try.
All
And
right, thank you.
yeah, I think A is going to kind of offer her hand to Crystal to hold, kind of for both their comforts.
Yeah, she will hesitate a moment before taking A's hand, and does give it a squeeze, like because she wants to comfort A too.
Yeah.
So you both get a D10 for Bardic Inspiration. And aha! I knew I had this feature. Counter Charm. As an action you can perform until the end of your next turn. During that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet that can hear you gain advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Hey,
nice.
nice.
Professor is going to be kind of like quietly singing some sort of funny tune
Oh,
as
that's
they're
so
going
sweet.
through.
That's so sweet, man.
Something stupid like some kind of dumb campfire song, like I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves, or like 99 bottles pop on the wall, 99 bottles of pop.
Oh my god, this is so cute.
Please tell me it's like mixing those songs up as it goes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I love that.
I'm fucking crying.
Alright, so
All
we're
right,
gonna
so
have
you
an
have
advantage
advantage and bardic
and a
inspiration
D10.
D10.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Thank you, Professor.
E. All right.
Yeah, and also, Prof, you don't need to re-roll your save because, like, you already passed it.
Oh,
so.
sweet. Thank you.
Zooey hears this, he's just like doing everything he can not to snort.
Okay, and then you have a
And
D10 to that.
D10 you said?
A D10, yes.
Alright, much better. That is a 21 total from A and an 18 from Crystal.
E.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is like pretty perfect because like see, there's this this tense judgmental atmosphere all around you, all these people like just like staring you down and judging you, but you can't you're able to like take your focus off of them because you just keep listening to Prof sing this silly little song, and it keeps making and it makes you laugh. And it's kind of like this moment of like sort of all these other people, they don't really matter because for a moment it's just like the three of you, and also like Lyra and Azumi there waiting for you across the ballroom. Yeah. So
All
yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we go through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. A will touch the mirror, and indeed her hand goes through, and yeah, she'll go through first, and the rest of you can follow after her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm gonna help Lyra through.
Yes.
Yee. Oh, that's sweet. All right, so yeah, so you guys are back in the Hall of Mirrors, and roll me a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we are again.
Mm-hmm.
For this?
Hmm?
We're not
No.
ready for this?
Ah.
What happened? What do you get?
You got a 20.
Oh my god! Azumi, you're the worst. I love you so much. All right, so yeah, Azumi definitely gets this, and like I think Prof will get it too. Yeah, you see more of those gray feathers are on the floor. So indeed, Angelique went through here, and you can tell exactly where they're leading. They're leading into another one of the mirrors, specifically the one that is pitch black on the other side.
Oh, fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I zoned out.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, basically, Professor and Azumi, you both noticed there is the damaged feathers on the floor, and that they lead to one of the
Mm.
mirrors. Specifically, they lead into the one that is pitch black, and it's like some kind of presumably magical darkness on the other side, and you can't see what's
Mm.
in there. And when you
I
looked at it,
remember.
yeah, and the first time you looked at it, you had this kind of sense of dread, like looking at it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Real quick, with the nat 20, can I tell if Colette is still here?
I'm actually going to get back to her in just a sec. Real quick,
Okay.
yeah, I'll get to her in a moment. But yeah, Lyra says, hmm, my girl, out of curiosity, which of our areas have you visited so far? Um, well, we visited a little bit in Colette's first, and then yours. So that would leave Evelyn's area.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, that doesn't sound so kind. Not kind, that's not the word he would use.
No.
That didn't sound so, wonderful.
Evelyn, well, I don't want to speak ill of her. The poor girl has gone through so much worse than all of us combined, would argue, but she could be considered the least stable of us, so to speak. And, well, she can be a bit dangerous, though. I believe she looks to A. You said that you managed to make amends with her, so to speak? Yes, we were able to talk things out, and I don't think she's as, angry at me anymore. We wanted, both of us, we want to work things out now, so I don't think she'll attack me, but, well, as for the rest of us, she kind of looks to the rest of the group, well, I'll talk to her. I'll tell her that you guys are good, and she'll. I'm not sure if she'll have trouble trusting you guys, but well, if Angelique's in there, then we gotta go. And I mean, something bad happened to everyone else so far, so I'm worried about her too.
Yes, we'll go and check, of course.
Right? Just be cautious around her, but also be patient with her. She's well, you'll see when you meet her. And I think at this point, you guys hear footsteps running towards you, and indeed it is Colette, and she's still holding Lilibet, and she says, "Oh, you guys are finally back. Hey, do you guys know what's up with the weird box over down that way? I tried to get it open, but it was locked."
Oh,
Box?
yes, that would be mine.
Oh, that box. Sorry,
They're like,
I completely blanked. I think it would be really funny if that's the
Yeah.
oh, I'm
Yeah,
just picturing them like everyone sort of tenses up. Like, what do you mean? There's something here that we don't know about, and there's like, oh no, wait, we know that what that is.
yeah.
uh, yes, that's how we got in here. It has some strong magical properties.
Ooh, that sounds so cool. Can I look inside? Can I? And before Lyra kind of goes over to her and kind of like puts a hand on her shoulder. And it's like, no, dear, they need to be off now. We can look in there later. And Colette kind of pouts at this. She's like, fine, I guess.
Mhm. Professor just sort of gives like oh no, she wouldn't see that. I was gonna do an expression, but that doesn't work.
Like a little
He just
expression.
says he just says a very quiet like thank you to Lyra.
Yeah. And that's just like um I'll keep an eye on these two. But I wish you all the best of luck in tracking down Angelique.
Right.
Thanks. We'll do our best.
Mm-hmm. I think A's gonna kind of pipe up. If it's dark in there, it might be a good idea to hold hands or something so we don't get lost.
Yes, that probably is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Zumi holds out his hand for A.
Aw, yeah, she'll take it.
Um,
Crystal's not going in the middle.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Professor will probably hold A's other hand and offer his other one um to Crystal.
Yeah, she will take it.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you guys roll insight on that since it's
Yes.
probably.
Mm. Oh, there it goes. Bit of a lag. It's a 6 from A and 15 from the professor.
Oh, sorry, are we rolling insight?
Yeah, because holding hands kind of thing on Crystal.
What the fuck?
It's not another net 20, is it?
It is! What?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Let's run this game, this session. How many?
So many.
The luck in this session has
Something
been
like
insane.
that.
Honestly, I'm low-key terrified for the next session, if only because I feel like we're getting like all the good luck in this one, and something has to balance that out.
Man.
Yeah, there's Azumi. There's definite hesitance before Crystal takes Professor's hand. The other thing you notice, she has not touched anyone with her left hand the entire time she's been here.
Sus.
And what does the
Yeah.
professor notice?
I don't think. I think the professor might notice the hesitance before she takes his hand. I don't think he gets anything else from that.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I can do my ability. Because it does not actually require skin contact. All right, yes, it is working. Okay, we rolled a 15 for perception with Professor's limited true sight ability. Does he detect anything?
I would say that would probably be enough to detect something is like some other presence that's on her.
Yeah, I think last time we discussed like a sort of sense of foreboding or something.
Yeah. Can probably find that like conversation later and like confirm it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he sort of like gives her a bit of a look. But just sort of like shakes his head like never mind, not now. And turns to the mirror instead.
Alright, so you guys all go into the mirror, delving into this impenetrable darkness, and that is where we will end our session for this evening.
Whoa.
Promoting.
Very much so.
I'm very nervous for next session.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, you guys are finally going to meet Evelyn, and we'll see how that all turns out.
Yay.
Oof.
Thank you for running this.
This is
Thank
very
you guys
good.
for playing. You guys are always a joy to have. Alright, well, I'm going to stop the recording for now, but thank you to everyone listening in the future, and I wish you all a very good time zone. Bye, everybody!
Bye!
Bye!